Hey, what's going on, y'all? Can y'all hear us? Kino.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know what
Hey, at
happened.
first, no, them first, it was like the first 45 seconds, there was some weird shit going on.
I don't know. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chondro Bar Room tonight. We started an hour early because we got the Texas Legends episode.
For
Um,
sure. What's up? What's
so,
up?
uh,
What's up, everybody checking in?
so we glad that everybody, people was able to make the time change for us. And this is just a one-on-one thing because we know that this is going to be a banger. It's going to take a minute to get through some things.
I really
Um,
appreciate y'all
so
for checking in early, though, with us, man.
So thank y'all for showing up. Announcement: we got Chuck here. He's working on some stuff with his new job. So Chuck will be out for a couple months, but he'll be back in October. And we'll get back to it with the three of us.
For
But
sure, for sure. Chuck will be back.
Keto, you got anything you want to go over?
Um, no, man. Once again, should I want to appreciate? We appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. Want to thank the sponsor. Shout out to in the box 3, Chris over there.
Yeah, get your
Don't
banner up,
forget, man.
Chris.
Get them purchase up. Get the purchase up. Go get them purchase orders in so you can save some bread. And fucking get your purchase up too. But no,
Hey, what's
everything
going
over
on,
here.
Sonny? I done heard a lot of good things about you, Sonny. I gotta hit you up, man. But
Sonny
thank you.
Ryu. Sonny Ryu is
Yeah,
an old name. When I say it's an old name,
yeah, I
that's a name
know.
that's been around for some years.
But yeah, I got nothing else. I know that Matt, not Matt, uh, but we got Mark coming on. We got Pat. We got Matt Morris. We'll have Ken Dill on as well, and Bill Steger will
Stiegel,
be
Bill
coming in a
Stiegel,
little
tap in
later.
a little. He'll tap in a little later. We got the Texas Legend show, man. I'm happy for this, man. Hey, the collection doing good. Trav Saron's over here eating, man. Them pure Sarons, them things jumping off the meat rack. You know what I'm saying?
The other one ate. The other one ate.
No, not yet. Not yet. But I ain't worried about it. I got 3 out of 4 to eat, so I ain't worried about it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping.
That's good. That's good.
But besides that, my babies is doing good. Shit, it's been one of them on their 10th meal, one of them on their 8th meals. The little straggler. Hey, y'all, look. I know last week I was talking about it might be freeze ice cube time, but hey, look, I swear, look, the last night we talked on the live, we got off, and I looked, and I always check on the babies before. No, I think it was Wednesday. My fault.
I'll
I
be right
always
back.
check
Keep
on the
going,
babies
Keno.
before I go to sleep. I got it. I check on the baby before I go to sleep, and I'll be damn, man, y'all. The struggle I've been waiting on, dude, that ain't been he done shed and ain't shed, and the other ones had they too. He was shedding. His mask was off. So man, I grabbed the spray gun, I put some warm water in there, I went in there and drowned the shit out of him. It was like a monsoon came. I was like Soldier Boy. I bust through the door, spraying the shit out of him. he finally shed, and man, the next morning I went there to get the shed. He bit me like 4 times. I said, you know what, fuck this. I threw a pinky in there. It wasn't no day old, no red hot. I don't got no more of them. But it wasn't as big as the ones that I started the other ones off with. It was a little bit smaller, but man, he grabbed it, wrapped it up, and he had his second meal, just second full pinky yesterday, and that pinky was went up to a full size like the other one. So man, patience pays off, man. Because y'all know, man. Anybody that been paying attention know that it was almost Ice Cube time. It was almost Ice Cube Chondros, but he didn't took off. So I guess wait. I guess if you got a Chondro that's holding out, man, a little baby, but the headache is finally over. Everybody eating. 8 out of 8 is smashing, and
Yes. Yes, loud. Yes,
yes, wow,
loud.
and that's
Yes,
a hell of a
loud.
feeling. I ain't gonna, that's a hell of a feeling. All the other ones it was nice getting them going, but to finally get that one going and not have it roll over, crug on me, man. That was a hell of a feeling. So,
Yeah, man.
hey, with
Congratulations, bro.
that being said, man, let's hook them horns tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get the legends in the house.
We're doing this rodeo thing. What's up? Don't forget, by the way, Trav got sarong for sale, so get up with him on the sarong too. Very
What's
nice.
up, legends?
What's up?
What's
What's up,
up?
Pat? Matt? You know what I'm
What's
saying?
going
Look at
on?
man, if y'all don't look at Kim Deal's shirt, man.
Yeah.
Man, look though, he got
Man,
the hair too. The hair's luscious. It's luscious,
yeah,
man.
man.
The shirt just dripping. It's just you spilling it everywhere, Kim.
Hey, I did
You
it for you
spilling it.
guys. You know,
Kid,
I'm
kid look like
old.
he about to.
I'm old. I wanted to be fashionable, to be cool with you guys. You know.
Kid look like he about to take somebody auntie to an all-you-can-eat seafood dinner. That's how
Man,
Kid
you know
looks.
what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Somebody
saying?
18 is about to get that Kim.
Hey, somebody's going to red. They're going to Red Lobster.
Endless shrimp.
Look, man. Ken Deal be dressed in president. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey man, we love it, Ken.
Hey,
Do we have Mark here? Are we still waiting
Yeah,
for
where
Mark?
is Mark?
I don't see
Oh,
him
here he
yet.
is.
Hold up, Mark.
I don't see him yet. Hold on a second.
Look at Patrick.
Can you guys hear me?
Patrick ain't
Yeah.
never
I can
he
hear
ain't
you.
never not feeding.
Hey, I'm on a fucking ladder feeding in this Chondro rack. That's how many new babies I have that I have to get on a ladder to fucking feed in this rack over here.
that's a good thing.
I know.
It is, and I'm about to fill up my other baby rack here pretty shortly too. So
So what you have? How many babies you have on the season so far, Pat? Chondro wise.
36 so far.
Dang.
How many more you got cooking?
Uh, I'm too superstitious to answer that question accurately.
I feel you on
Yeah, I hear you.
that.
I'm also way too excited about it to yeah. Y'all know the drill.
We know.
I know. Trust me, I know. The artifacts. What's going on, Matt? I like your shirt too, man. You got the
Thank you,
Chondro
sir.
shirt on.
Yes, sir. Not much.
Feel you.
I got a
How them?
care.
How those? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I just was gonna. I got a nice little care package from Florida the other day. I've got 6 new Kofiau chondros.
Nice.
Really
Yeah, sick.
nice.
Congrats on that,
Yeah.
man.
Those some
Yep.
CVs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
finally getting some of the ones that we did our breeding loan with, and
Nice.
it's coming around. So
Matt, can you please let me see some of them when we get offline or something? Please send them to my inbox.
okay, I'll do that.
Whenever you get
send it.
Yeah.
time. You know what I'm saying?
I can
Whenever
send
you
it to
get
you
time.
now. I'll send it to you on Facebook right now. But
And I'll
Okay.
be sitting around waiting for babies up here, patiently waiting.
I mean, you got like a million over there.
A million chondros,
Yeah.
something like that.
Right. You got don't lie.
Uh,
Don't lie, Pat.
what you know what I don't have though is pairs of captive bred Kofiau. So you know, that's a
well,
problem.
yeah. As soon as we get them rolling, they're going to go out to select few people that know what they're doing, and hopefully
There
we'll
go
make a bunch
Mark.
more.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. This is something we've been talking about and trying to work on for a really long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's taken a while. So
That's all right. That's
hopefully
why I say
we'll get it going.
I'll be patiently waiting because we've been waiting a while already. So
Yep.
That's all it is. It's a waiting game. Patience.
yeah.
Patience paid off on them Kofi out. That's good to see.
I was real close to it when all the shit went down with me back in 2012.
Yep, you were.
So it I had K2. My proven female was gravid or about to be. She was right around ovulation, from Dare, who was a signal herp Kofiau male. That he was a BHC line Kofiau,
Yeah, black
Yeah.
kid Chondro.
and that would have been
Yep.
real nice.
Yep. Well, that the
Shit, Canary.
BHC is the
Black kid Canary.
grandfather to my female. So
Awesome.
we're
Oh, that's
carrying
Awesome.
on his
nice.
lineage.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that's clearly, we didn't get to see it play out very much, but it's very obviously a weird genetic trait hiding in there because
Yeah.
Odd Job proved that. Odd Job was the extreme version of BHC,
Yeah.
from a
Yeah.
sibling to half sibling pairing, both sired by him. It was really obvious there's something going on there, and it's just a shame that there wasn't more success with the work that was put in to try to preserve that. But those animals
Yeah.
are floating around, and it's still possible to try to squeeze that out.
Yeah. Chuck was thinking that with this year's babies, he's seeing something different in them, and he
Nice.
thinks he's hoping that that comes out in it. So, and then they are a little bit different. So,
How many
Yeah,
gens is that
Matt,
in
I was
in the City BHC line?
I'm sorry, what?
How many?
How
How
many
many
how
what?
many how many generations are we into the BHC line? As
Um,
far as Chuck's pure far as Chuck's pure breeding of it.
um, so this will be the mother. I have to look at it. I think it's F3. I think these are F3s
Okay.
from him. I mean, after him. So, um,
Nice. Nice. F3s, that's yeah, that's some commitment.
Matt. I was talking to Chuck um, maybe a couple of weeks ago about the clutch of black-eyed canary Kofi owls that you guys got, and he was telling me that they looked different. What is it about them?
yeah.
Or do you see
I
the same thing? Or
No, I was asking him the same. Yeah, I asked him the same question. They're a little bit. They got a little bit more. I guess green modeling on them, and we're not sure exactly what that's going to do. He thinks it's going to go black, but again, I haven't worked with as many Kofi as he has, so I'm not sure.
yeah,
Can we
that's
see everybody
really
on the
cool.
screen right now?
Nah, I don't got Ken
No.
Deal.
I don't see Mark.
Yeah. I see Mark, I see
I've
Pat, and I
got
see
I've
Matt,
got
and I see
Mark.
you.
We're
I don't got
missing
Ken
missing.
Deal.
I'm missing Ken and Keno.
Yeah. I'm missing
Who's
Ken
on
and Keno
first?
too.
It does say everyone can see and
Yeah, I just lost it.
Yeah, looks like they're reloading it.
There we go. Yeah. I think he reloaded.
All right. Can we see everybody now?
Nah.
No.
There might not be room on the screen. There's like
There's
20 of
there's
us in
room.
here.
There's room
Nah,
on the
it
screen.
is. It is. He'll get it. He'll get it. That's Manny Fresh on the beat.
Yeah. All right.
Nah,
Let's
I'm
go.
missing Patrick, and I'm missing Mark. No, I got Mark. I'm missing Patrick, and I'm missing Matt.
I'm missing you too, man. Thanks for saying
nah.
that.
What's up, Mark? By the way, what's up, man? You just crept on in. You know what I'm saying, on the wakeboard, real slow, like.
Dude, it's summertime, man. That's this is the wakeboard season, man.
It's the
I've been
season.
blowing and going all summer long.
Yeah, that's nice, man. Get out there, and enjoy that fresh air.
Oh, that fresh air. So did you have to go to Australia yet, Mark?
No, but I go to Portugal at the end of the month.
Okay.
That's fucking
So
awesome. Are you gonna go see Pedro?
yeah, I need to reach out to him.
Yeah.
I just got solidified on like when the contest is and all the schedule that I have to be there for.
Gotcha.
And I'm gonna reach out to Pedro and see.
Do you know
Yeah,
Pedro? I mean, have you talked to him before?
yeah. We've talked a handful of times. I haven't
Yeah.
talked to him in a minute, but
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
we're close.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
like
see that
to
collection.
Yeah.
razz him razz him on his love for red Neos.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pedro. Shout out to Pedro. He's one of my favorite people in the Chondro community. I love that dude.
He's a good guy. Yep.
Yeah, Pedro, a cool dude. We've been trying to get Pedro on. He just worked every day. We do it.
Yeah,
We're gonna get him on though.
It'll happen
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, got to.
yeah. And when he's not working, he's going to metal shows because he's fucking awesome.
And then and he's so damn humble. We was gonna move somebody for him. He was like, nah, I don't want to do it like that. I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Travis, check your Facebook messages. Yeah,
Ken, how the babies? Ken,
It was a nice little care package I got.
I don't see you or Ken, Travis.
Listen, if y'all don't see me, that's fine. But make sure you see everybody that's here. I'm insignificant.
Yeah.
What is going on with this?
I don't know. I don't see myself or Mark.
I don't either.
There may be only enough screen space for a certain number of views.
We have it for 10, right?
Oh.
So it's supposed to be for 10.
Man.
Dude, if there was 10 of us on the screen, we'd look like the friggin' Brady Bunch out there.
I mean, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm completely fine with that. It might take me a minute, but y'all keep talking. I gotta get this figured out and fixed. We had a similar issue with the ladies' night episode where it just took a minute for it to work out.
Yeah. Gotta get back on there.
I wish my daughter would chill out.
Hey Ken Deal, how the babies doing? You and Sonya's babies?
They're rolling.
Okay.
I mean, I think was it you, Travis, that talked about having some problems feeding. These things, when I brought them home from Dallas, from Sony's house, they fed within a half an hour of me transporting them and putting them in the tubs.
All of them?
That's so cool.
All of them. And it wasn't, their outcrosses from Biak, which I've always believed kind of strengthens and increases the nippiness, but that was uncharacteristically welcome. I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
So
it's always good.
And there's that old thing about taking them for a car ride, right?
Right.
Yep.
I tried that. It worked.
You got it rolling.
I ain't got time for that shit.
I picked up a pair of Applegate Pyros that were 14 months old. The guy put them in brumation. He said they've never eaten. He's going mouse tails on them. And on Morph Market, he was selling them for $65. And I said, I got it. I'll work with them. I pulled them out of, I dropped a live pinky in there before I even unpacked them, and they both ate. So there really is something to traveling, especially with the colubrids,
Yeah.
It shakes them up.
There's also something to leaving them in that container and just dropping something in there with them, man. I'll do that. I'll leave them in the deli and drop it in there and just slap that deli cup into the rack and check on them later.
Yeah, leaving them in the deli cup so they have to smell it and see it is a good idea.
Yep. Yeah, I just right before I came in for the sound check for this, I was over on the snake side feeding. I say the snake side like I'm not in the snake room right now. On the other side, feeding all those baby bull snakes. I've got 22 baby bull snakes, and if you're willing to let go of the idea that everything has to eat off of tongs, you can just drop fucking rats in there. They're going to eat them. Actually, I got them.
Yep.
I didn't start them on rat pinks this time. I started them on fuzzy mice instead of rat pinkies this time. But they're not even in a rack. It's literally just tubs stacked up on the counter over there. And I just ran through and fed 22 snakes in like 4 minutes.
Yep.
Good. Whatever
I love
works.
colubrids.
Yeah, that's why.
They eat live.
No, they all, I went through, because I do have that weird attachment to the tong feeding. I went through for their first meal and I got every single one of them to take frozen thawed fuzzy mice off of tongs in 5 seconds or less. Every single one of them. That's one of the things I love about the bulls, man. Here's like I tell people this all the time. I call stuff like that sanity snakes, because after you've dealt with chondros, man, it's just refreshing to have something like that.
So true.
I paired one male with 2 females 2 days apart, and 37 days after the pairing, after each pairing, I had clutches from both females. 37 days after each pairing, there's clutches sitting on the ground from both females, and done deal. They hatch, they eat. That's just, and they're awesome snakes. Bull snakes are fucking cool as shit.
How big were those litters, Pat, of the Pitiophis?
I got let's see, 15. I got 12 and 15 eggs. One of the clutches was from an older female, and the eggs were not really well calcified, so a couple eggs went bad, and a couple babies died in the egg. And that really bummed me out, because I'm like pulling dead babies out of the egg, and I'm like, God damn it, this is why I have you guys, so I don't have to do this shit.
Well, that's a good number within a litter, a clutch.
Yeah. And there was also one that didn't hatch, so one that didn't go in the other one. So I got 8 and 14, so 22 total from those 2 females. And the female that had the bigger clutch with bigger babies was a first-time breeder. She's just 3 years old.
Wow, 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, I say that only is because here's two clutches of corn snake eggs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like
That's a lot of damn babies.
It's a lot.
It's just like give me a break,
Yeah.
I mean, this is your doing, Ken. You're at
I know.
He said that like
And I got 13 more litters coming, and not of colubrids exclusively, but it's like no more corn snakes. The corn snakes have got to slow down.
His house at night.
Yeah. I'm raising up a pair of Okatee corns right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's what I specialize in.
Yeah, I love them.
I haven't seen one of those in person in a long time.
Yeah, hold on. Well, in between these babies.
So y'all want to get the show on the road? Oh,
yeah, let's do it.
Because Mr. Stiegel just came in.
Oh, nice.
All right, there's Bill.
Oh, look at Stinger.
What's up, Bill?
Hey, Bill.
What's going on,
boys?
Oh, Bill.
What's going on?
What's up?
Where'd you get those, Pat?
So we prepped to go. So it don't matter.
These are from Max Peterson.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Mac's a good guy.
Mac's a real good guy, man. He's been around for a long time.
Yes, he has.
But, yeah, these are yearlings, pair of yearlings from him.
Nice.
Those are nice.
Yeah.
And Max is a good guy. I got a breeding loan with him on this right here.
Oh, sweet.
And Max is a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't live too far from me, so he comes by the shop here and there. I had forgotten about those corn snakes. I saw pictures of his adults, and I said, "Are you breeding those this year?" And he's like, "Yeah, I am." And I said, "I might need a pair of those." He never contacted me again. He just showed up at my shop with a pair of corn snakes a few months later, and I was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." So he sold me that pair. He sold me that pair for $90.
Good.
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those Oketees are nice.
It's like 1994 prices right there.
That's right. That's right. Well, we've been doing this shit since 1994, bro.
Well,
I know it's a long time. All the money I spent on reptiles.
well, who's
man,
got nice
I could have
corn?
bought.
Who's got nice corn snakes is Matt. He's been
Yeah.
getting these Sherman lines with Lee
Yep.
Abbott's and
Yeah, I'm working on
albino
it.
Shermans and
Red
I've got
Zeppelins. Yeah.
and the Zeps.
Yeah, the Zeppelins. Yeah, the Zeps are fucking awesome, man. I'm gonna have to get some of that.
So,
All right. Well, I can hook you up with that.
I bet
I
Matt
know
can.
you can.
I bet
I
Matt
know you
can.
can.
Matt has a menagerie. All right, so do y'all want to get the show on the road?
Yeah, let's do it.
Jump
All
into
right,
it.
so you guys could go around the horn, and just introduce yourselves to those who don't know you, and just let us know a little bit about when you started keeping and snakes in general, and when you started keeping green trees, and we'll go on from there. Just a small intro.
You want to
We'll start
call
with
on us so
Bill.
we know what's going on?
Because they go in a little circle. Can Bill hear us? Can he talk?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
All right,
Go
there you
ahead,
go.
do
All right.
your intro, Bill.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm Bill Stiegel, Phoenix Reptiles. Been keeping snakes longer than a lot of you guys have been alive.
Yeah.
Maybe not green trees, but snakes. Yeah, chondros are my passion. I've been keeping and breeding ball pythons, carpet pythons, rough scale pythons, Borneo shorttails. Been keeping and breeding those for a long time now, but it always comes back to green trees. They're my passion, and I'm looking forward to the show tonight. I'm really just here to learn about yellow babies because
Yeah, Mark and Matt.
He being petty already.
Oh man.
they're so rare.
Here you go, man. The slander.
I'm really
So
happy about yellow.
I got you your first yellow ones though, didn't I?
You did, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
They're the recessive.
That's right. Yeah, Matt's a fucking bad influence.
Bad mojo.
So we'll go with Ken next. Every 40-year-old woman's dream, Mr. Ken Deal.
40. Don't limit him just to 40. Don't limit him just to 40.
40?
I think he can pull 20-year-olds too.
Hot damn, those are virgins at my age.
It's not. It's not.
That man's shirt, man.
He's the only date women that I used to take to the Sizzler. They don't remember what the Sizzler was. I was taking it nowhere.
Hey, if they play their cards right, we'll go to Olive Garden next week.
All right. At least I dressed well. My name is Ken Deal. I live in San Antonio. I probably cut my teeth volunteering at the Houston Zoo for about 4 years. Green trees have always been, I always think, the pinnacle of herpiculture, as challenging as they are. Right now I have about 10. That includes the 6 Neos from Sony Raju and myself's breeding loan. Hopefully we'll do some more coming up here soon, and I'm getting a big rush out of them. They're gorgeous. They're not as pretty as Bill. Bill, you got some dark screamers. It's kind of freaking me out when I see you post.
Me too, bro. Thank you.
Yeah.
They are nice. Yep.
But right now, I'm going to have some new species. Hopefully, some red and black colubrid snakes from the Congo. I've got Dominicans ready to drop, Brazilians, Kenya sand boas, lots of rosy boa localities and such. So I've really diversified. My first litter. Successful clutch of green trees was in 2000. But since then, I've diversified a lot. So I appreciate being invited because there's so much new information with new genetics, with new pairings that I'm not really up to snuff with. But I do love chondros. They are cool.
We're honored to have you, Ken.
Hey,
For real.
thanks.
For sure. Hey, I would say up until about 5 years ago, the sickness was new to me. When I came back on the scene, all I heard was the sickness. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Down
This
with
is
the
a new disease or
sickness.
something we gotta worry
Yeah.
about? Damn.
Yeah.
And it was
Got
like
cooties.
the sickness. I was like, I was like, what is the sickness? And then I saw it. I was like, oh.
You
Goddamn.
really, with all the new genetic lineages that are
That
producing
shirt came from Fashion Nova.
that are producing some screamer animals, it's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, but that's what I like about it. It make you go digging. You go dig for them genetics.
Oh yeah, thank you for the pictures earlier, Pat. Too. Thank you.
Yeah, for
'Cause
sure.
That's the stuff that we wanted to show people. So we got Mark up next, aka Wakeboard Jesus, the most handsome man in Chondros.
Oh, hey.
Man, I don't know. You
That's
see
just
Ken
'cause-
Deal? You see
He's
Ken
the
Deal?
Yeah, dude.
What
He's
the
the
hell? I
pastor of
don't know,
Chondro
man.
Town.
And Ken Dill, he had to pass the torch on to Mark, especially when them girls see Mark come up
I
on
don't
that
think he ready to
wakeboard with
pass
that
it
long
yet,
hair.
though, dog. I don't think he ready to pass
Yeah,
it.
hey, I think Ken's still taking the cake, man.
Well,
Ken's still doing his thing out here at
I'll
every
take
Ruby Tuesday's parking lot.
I'll take the moms of the girls that like Mark. How's that? You know?
How about the grandma?
Poaching the old women.
Oh, come on now, Grandma, hold your horses. Who said that crap?
Bill on the grandma.
Ken said,
Come on.
Ken said,
Bill
that's my
said, where
main
them
girl.
walkers at?
Ken said, that's my main girl. I bought her a Dooney and Burke purse.
Dooney and Burke.
Hey, Mark, chime in anytime. Go ahead. Introduce
Go ahead.
yourself.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm Mark Hager. I've been keeping chondros since like 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. And I run the Texas Chondros Instagram account. And yeah, I don't know. I got a lot of green trees. I only keep 2 species, and green trees is one of them. So yeah, I got plenty here. Got my hands full. I'm feeding some babies tonight, so I got one right here that we're trying to get to take right now. But yeah, I'm excited for the night. It's good to be on a video call with all you guys.
If you from Texas, you done seen your animal on his page.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what it's all about, man. Sharing the
He
love.
put on for the whole state of Texas.
That's right.
So we got Mr. Pat. Everybody knows Mr. Pat, the Chondro guru.
I too am sitting here feeding babies. I'm almost done. I started with the harder ones to try to get them out of the way. And
Hey, I don't know, man. I think you might be buried in the coffin with us with some forceps in your hand.
Well, look, if we since we're going to be on the subject tonight of some old school stuff, right now I'm doing the Rico. Rico had a headset, and you can almost guarantee that if you got Rico on the phone during the day, he was sitting there with his headset on doing maintenance in his Chondro room or feeding babies or something like that, man. That's just, he had that dude had a lot of snakes, and the majority of them were chondros. About 2/3 of them were chondros, and that's what he did. And so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm feeding babies. I'm multitasking.
Rest in peace, Rico, by the way.
Yeah, rest in peace, Rico. Rico was Rico, Lord Walder. I have been keeping snakes for damn near my whole life. I think my dad had snakes, since he was a kid, and what he could get away with sneaking into his house or whatever. And then he kept snakes after he moved out of his parents' house. And so I think my dad started getting snakes when I was about a year old, something like that. And so I've done this literally my whole life. The house I grew up in, there was a 3-bedroom house, and I have 2 brothers, and we all shared a room because there was a snake room, and that's just how I was raised. And
all three of y'all share the room. Damn.
yeah, all three of us shared a room. I had my parents were in the master bedroom. We all shared a room, and we had a reptile room. And
What size visions did they keep you in? Or
you know, that's real funny, but I am older than both of those brands. So we lived in homemade wood and plexiglass cages at my house.
There you go.
Y'all in cages. Y'all in cages.
So
Your brother's here.
So what'd you say?
Your brother Bobby's here.
Oh, hey. I see that on there. That's
Bobby,
funny as shit.
thanks for checking in with us, Bobby.
Hey,
Bobby's he said I co-signed that.
Bobby, who
That's
used to win the
funny as
fights in that
shit.
room? Who was top dog in that room?
I don't even need to say anything. I'm the older brother, so we'll just leave that there.
Oh, damn.
Look, hey, I've been in literally thousands of fistfights in my life, literally thousands, and 96% of them were with Bobby.
Hey man, maybe one of y'all can make weight to fight Chuck.
Bobby said he was in that. He said he was in that whooping your ass, Bobby.
Hey, I sit around 165, you know, so I don't know where Chuck's at, but anyways, so I started I started keeping chondros in '98. I was already breeding snakes before then. I hatched my first snakes out in '95. They were Emery's rat snakes, and I had bred some other reptiles, some lizards and stuff like that even before that. Got my first chondros in '98. I didn't start. It was a pair of wild caught Aru. I didn't start keeping chondros consistently until 2006 ish. But I've had chondros solidly since 2006. And I got my first ones. Got my first clutch in 2010. And now I have a lot of chondros.
All right, let's round it out with Matt. Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
All right. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I've been around snakes and things like that since I was, 3 or 4 years old that I can remember. Never had an issue keeping them in the house. Mom always let me have them.
Chuck? Much love, boy.
So, I guess Andrew and I, Andrew Amon, who was one of my best friends, he and I pretty much grew up together, and we did a lot of camping and hunting and fishing, stuff like that. And so we were naturally drawn to snakes, and we started breeding them together. Ball pythons of all things. We actually ordered some gravid females from Crutchfield Farms back when you'd order them gravid. They'd send them to you, and that was my first breeding of snakes. That was probably, I don't know, 1984, somewhere in there. And then I guess first chondros, Andrew got into chondros before I did, and that was 2005-ish, maybe 4-ish. And then he had his first clutch in 2007, and that's when he gave me my first one, and it was no looking back after that one. So that's what got me into it, and been into it ever since.
Was that I know we're going to talk about this more, but I just have to ask while I'm thinking about it. Was that first one? Was that AA 0706 that I got from you?
I believe so.
From the Palin Nari clutch.
Nari, yeah. I believe that was the first one.
Badass.
Hold on, you want to pull up that picture?
Yeah, it is 2007's first clutch. Palin Nari. Yep.
Yeah.
And then 2008 was Yak and Nari. That was an awesome. That was an awesome clutch.
That animal right there. That's AA 0706, and that was from Andrew's first clutch. So that was I didn't know that was your first chondro, Matt. And I tell you what, Matt thought that snake was a male and sold it to me for $500, and it turned out to be a female.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
ouch.
And
Ouch.
hey, listen,
Yep.
Matt hasn't gotten any better at sexing chondros since then.
Hey,
Guilty as charged.
did any of you guys notice what the Neo color was on that animal?
Yellow.
Yes, yellow.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah,
that was
definitely
still to
yellow.
this day one of my favorite chondros that I've ever had, and it was also what started my relationship with Matt. So that animal was really, really special.
All right. So we got through these magnificent intros. So we'll start off with chondro history in Texas first. So who do you guys know? Because I obviously don't know. I don't know if Keno knows, but what did the early chondro scene look like, and who were the first Texas chondro keepers? Like, what did it look like at first? Because 1984 might have been the beginning of it, Matt.
So
I ain't born yet.
the first
I hadn't even slid out yet.
all of the first chondro keepers in Texas that we know about were all zoos. The Dallas and Fort Worth zoos started breeding chondros in, I don't know, 79 or 80, something like that.
Yeah, Houston Zoo wasn't short to follow.
Yeah.
The Houston Zoo line produced Byron Barnes, north of San Antonio, had some stellar Houston Zoo high yellows that were, kind of Tim Termegi-ish, but they were kind of tricolored and spectacular. And I don't want to interject, but only because I talked to her via text recently. Tina Hannibal, I talked to. She was one of the first girls, along with Hillary Webb here in San Antonio, who used to work with Dave and Tracy Barker.
What was her name? Tina what?
Tina Hannibal. Does that ring a bell? That she was.
Not to me, it doesn't. But I've been on the search lately for a lot of the younger, the older women, like the first in the game that was produced. I never heard of her.
You and Ken both on the search for
she's like
player.
I was the same age as her father. I swear to God.
Let me ask you a question. Has that ever stopped you?
but Tina was one of those young girls in the chondro arena, along with Hillary Webb, that were just two females that, when they talked about captive husbandry, feeding neonates, temperature, humidity, they nailed it. And Hillary was good friends with Trooper Wall. And Hillary got some animals from a Trooper, and then I got animals from Hillary, and I still see every once in a while a Hillary Webb stock, and a Ken Deal Hillary Webb stock, and that makes me smile. But that was a long time ago,
It was united and it feels so good.
So I think I know Hillary, like you said, she worked with the Barkers, and I think some of her stock was also some locality stuff from the Barkers. I think maybe she had some Beox from them or something like that. I can't remember what years the Barkers started breeding chondros, but I think that was early 90s maybe. And we all know, we all know that they had the Maroki stuff, because that's where the albinos were coming from with Damon. And Damon, as a little side note,
those are pure Marokes, by the way.
Yeah, pure Maroki. Yes. And the reason that Damon, this is kind of a connection between like just Texas people and Texas stuff. Like the Alterna, the gray banded king snake thing is always been a big deal, and that's where really reptile localities as a thing got their start was Alterna localities. They were the first guys to be be niche and particular and use locality names. And with Alterna, it's very specific. It's specific roads and in certain counties and all that
Cuts,
stuff.
yep.
And yep. And although I won't go on a rant and critique all that stuff and make fun of some of those guys for that. But yeah.
I'm about to say they broke it down into counties. That's
yeah.
crazy.
And look, snakes are variable. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyways, Damon was an Alterna guy, and Damon is like an old school West Texas herper, man. He's a hardcore herper and was good friends with the Barkers, and that's why he got Merokis from them, because he wanted locality specific green trees, and he knew those were pure locality specific green trees that they produced from the imports that they got in.
Yeah. And he had paperwork on that too.
Yep. And that's how he ended up with the albinos, was from breeding those. Another note on the Barkers, I still talk to Tracy. They're both amazing. Tracy is so she's just great she's got a wealth of knowledge, and she's really good about sharing it. And Dave has the most amazing stories. And I'm going to kind of tie that. Yeah, he's got just so many amazing stories, and I'm going to kind of tie this together with the zoo thing. So one of the stories that Dave Barker told me once, I believe he said it was 1981, and I think it was Dallas Zoo. He told me that he was pulling a clutch of green tree python eggs, and if I remember correctly, all the stock back then at the zoos, at these two zoos, was like confiscated PNG stock, and that's where a lot of Rico's PNG line stuff. Yeah, yep. And because it was
a lot of confiscated GPs.
Yeah, and so that's where a lot of Rico's PNG lineage goes back to, is Dallas and Fort Worth Zoo stuff, from confiscations from the other side of the island where we don't see any of that. So Dave said that he was pulling this chondro clutch and setting them up on a countertop, and he dropped an egg from counter height onto the ground, and it went rolling across the floor. And he said he looked around to like make sure nobody saw it. And picked it up and just threw it in there with the rest of the eggs, and he said that motherfucker hatched.
Wow.
And yeah, and
that's a good story. That's a good story.
It's a good story.
Didn't explode on him.
Well, we try not to even have them roll, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, there's also, there's a video of Rico pulling a clutch, and the female grabs the clutch with her tail and just sends them all over the place. Yeah. I've had plenty of eggs roll around. Yeah, I've had plenty of eggs roll around and still hatch.
That's why you always use big welding gloves whenever you
big pink.
It makes a
studded, bedazzled.
It has never happened to me or Alex because we use those big fucking gloves.
Yeah, it doesn't much happen to me anymore either, and I've kind of taken to just pinning those females when they're defensive. If they're less defensive, I tickle them off. But some of these Beox are trying to kill me, and I just pin them, and they just bail on the clutch instantly. It's lovely. But anyways, Dave and Tracy, they kept their chondros. If you ask Tracy Barker what the difference is between keeping chondros and keeping any other python, she will say a stick. That'll be her answer. They kept their chondros in 44 quart Rubbermaid racks that were the grow out racks for their other pythons that they were producing. They kept them on newspaper with a water bowl. They did not mist them ever. And the only difference was that they mounted a dowel rod into those tubs, and they kept and bred all their chondros in 44 quart Rubbermaid racks with dowel rods.
Yep. And that was like an ambient control setting.
Yeah, they've been running ambient for a long time, and then they provide heat I don't know how they did their chondros, but these days they only provide heat. They keep everything at 81 degrees thereabout, and they provide heat for females around once they've ovulated.
Okay. Damn.
But that's also I have to when I throw that out there, I also have to mention that that's one of the reasons that they're not as diverse as they were. All the Barkers breed now is blood pythons, ball pythons, and boa constrictors, because those animals all fit into that mold and they all do really well with that exact setup. So they've just streamlined it to the animals that do really well just like that. Very simple. It doesn't always work with everything.
Why did they get out of Chondro?
I don't know if I've ever asked Tracy that, and she's actually told me that she was never super into them for whatever reason. So it's been a long time. I don't know that I don't know when they got out of Chondros, but it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I remember Tracy telling me,
Get out of here,
that how to care for green tree pythons was to leave them alone.
Yeah.
And just leave them alone. And when I see a lot of people pull them out and hold them, I'm going, what are you doing? You really think they enjoy that? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that.
I mean, I don't really think that they thrive well with you touching them all the time and picking them up.
Yeah, I think they're all individuals.
That's what I was just going to say. The exact same thing. I think they're all very different, and some of them are really, really skittish and totally averse to any kind of contact. They don't want to have anything to do with you. And then some of them are very curious, man. Especially males. It tends to be a male thing. I used to have a male Aru. He was a sire of my first clutch. I could, during the day, at night, he was a savage. He was, it was never defensive. He just super strong feeding response. But during the day, I could open up his cage when I was in there doing maintenance in that room, and he would crawl out, and I could just put my arm out, and he would crawl up my arm and just kind of get up on my head or my shoulders, and I would walk around and do maintenance. He was the only chondro I had that I just handled. I don't really play with a lot of my snakes or anything. Since I started keeping large numbers of snakes, I just don't play with them. But
don't go there.
With you guys are basing that on all these pictures of me holding snakes. Every time that you see me posting a picture like that, I had that snake out because it cage was shitty, and I was like, ooh, the lighting's nice. I better grab a picture of this thing while I'm cleaning its fucking cage.
No, Pat, we were basing that off of the amount of time that you spend with your shirt off.
He play with his snake a lot, Mark.
Listen, man, he's obviously working out because he's always got his shirt off in the kettlebell. So leave him alone.
When you guys were complimenting Ken on his shirt,
he got that damn belt, that long ass stick with
the mace.
Doing that shit.
Yeah,
you know what you be doing. You be swinging around poles.
Yeah,
that's his anti-theft device.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's in a way it is an anti-theft device because you look at me, you probably don't want to steal something from me.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess the question is like, how did you guys all because I know all you guys know each other. So what are your relationships like between each other? And when did you guys all get to know each other? Because I know that Pat first got snakes from Matt.
I can actually go one by one and very quickly tell some cool stories about all of these guys. I'll go with Ken first because I'm going to try to keep this in chronological order. I told this story just the other day when Ken was on, but I'll tell it again. I went to the San Antonio Venomous show.
Ken at the Boom Boom Room?
Yeah. He was hitting on cougars and I was picking up their daughters. I was at the San Antonio Venomous show in 2006,
Travis trying
And
to get him to sell monkeys.
I saw this table, and these guys had all these green tree pythons, and I was just starting to keep green tree pythons consistently then, and they had a pedigree on a poster board on their table, and I had never seen like a pictured lineage chart for snakes before. It was like I was looking at a horse or a dog pedigree. And I was like, geez, these guys are fucking serious about this shit. And they had all these chondros and deli cups, captive bred babies, and you almost never saw captive bred babies at an expo. They're all yellow babies. And then I walked up to get a closer look, and these snakes were all priced at $600 and $700. And I was like, Jesus, man, these guys are smoking crack. Ain't nobody gonna pay $600 or $700 for a green tree python.
I used to say the same thing.
And but that was Ken and Sony at that show, and so that was my kind of introduction to that type of chondro breeding. Next would have been Bill. In 2008, I went over to Bill's house because I had bought a snake that he produced from Mike Pinnell at Python and a Pear Tree. Mike was selling some of Bill's carpet pythons at a show. And so that's how I met Bill. And Bill invited me over, and I went to go check out his snake room. And back then it was all ball pythons and carpet pythons. This was just before he started keeping chondros. And I'm not going to say that this is my fault, but I've told this story before too, but Bill had some, vertically oriented animal plastics cages. They were arboreal animal plastics cages. And I'm like, dude, you need green tree pythons in those things. And maybe I'll just say the rest is history.
Oh, really?
So that's a true story. I'm not saying it's my fault, but that's a true story.
Well, Bill Pat turned you out on the green trees, huh?
I would say he was one of three people that convinced me to get into green trees. I think I was like so many other people that kept species before that. I didn't want a high maintenance animal. I hate high maintenance animals. I don't have the patience for them. And I was always under the impression that green trees were just high maintenance, defensive, and I'm just not that guy. Some people get off on defensive animals, and they like the thrill of all that. I've never been like that. I like docile species and stuff I can reach in and grab out. And I never
agree.
Trees were like
I agree.
Until and there's a lot of crossover in the carpet and green tree community, and so it was those relationships that convinced me to get my first green tree. And then after that, it was all over. I was just hooked big time.
With Matt, it was the following year, 2009, was when I started hanging out on the MVF, the old school Morelia Virtus forum, and Andrew Amon had started to make a pretty big name for himself, he's another person that the first time I saw it, he had some blue line babies posted for $3,500, and I was like, God damn, $3,500. And but they were, I didn't know about that lineage back then, and that was from a sibling to Godiva paired to a sibling of 05188. You can't get better genetics than that.
Oh,
and
man.
So the parents were not spectacular animals; they were just very nice animals. But it doesn't matter with a pedigree like that.
Sure.
Anyways, and that was like he had his own line. Some of those animals are probably still around. The AA blue line was from that pairing. But yeah, so Matt, Alex,
Alum.
Shout out to Alum.
I knew who Matt was because it was, because I was in I knew he was in Texas, and then he had that animal that we just saw the picture of, AA0706. He had that animal available, and I bought it from him. And I have since, I've bought a lot of chondros from a lot of people, but I have bought more snakes from Matt than any other one person. And Matt and I have done a lot of chondro deals, trades, breeding loans, back and forth, all kinds of stuff. And so that one snake, which I don't recall that. I'm not saying you never told me, but I don't recall that, that was your first chondro. So it just makes it even more special to me. And Matt is one of the guys that stuck around the whole time I was locked up too. I kept in contact with a few snake people. 3 of them were chondro people. It was Gary Scavino and Mel Bernal and Matt all stayed in touch with me. I was gone for 5 years. I was locked up for 5 years, and Matt and Gary were who kept me up on what was going on with Rico, and they both wrote me and took my calls and all that stuff.
They was with you shooting in the gym. I hate that.
Yeah.
So and then Mark just told this story the other day. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and Matt's always been, that's one of the things that I love about this community is that you can make friends with people like Matt or like Gary, or I have a lot of friends that outside of snakes, we don't have a whole lot in common, right?
Straight up.
Yeah, there are so many people in this community. Everybody that's sitting here in this chat, I love all of you guys. You guys are all very, very dear friends of mine, and it's fucking amazing. It's amazing that keeping snakes and this one species in particular.
If you break it down, though, I think Travis and Ken Deal come from a long line of pimps.
Hey, listen.
That's something I think.
Listen, he does this all the time.
That's just me, bro.
I know, like, maybe 2 pimps. Like, it is not really like a real thing. Like,
how is it maybe, bro? How is it maybe 2? 2 is like, you can say I know maybe 17, but you can't say I know maybe. Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3?
No,
Patrick,
so it's like
he's not counting the family. He's not counting all the family members.
So like one
only count 2 that he knows.
I've known since I was basically a kid, and then the other one.
Is he the one? Did he bring you up under his wing? Is that the one?
Listen, this is not true.
You seen the pictures, Patrick? Patrick, you seen the pictures, Pat? You seen them when his shoes match his car.
We're gonna need to see your pedigree, man. We need Lineage chart.
Y'all gotta chill out with this. Like one of them,
it's a colors.
He may be.
You gonna see colors in a long body
Hey, we call that designer, Trav. You're a designer, bro.
Oh, shit. I was raised by a hardworking man, not working late.
You were raised on that purple plush line.
No, man. Listen, man, them memes that kid don't be putting up, I don't know that man. I don't know that man at all. This is just Keto's doing. Stop listening to this man.
He's a designer, man. He's a designer.
Yeah. Purple velour.
Get out of here.
And Mark I met right after I got out of the joint. And Mark told that story just the other day. When he was on too, that we my brother actually had told me about you getting into contact with him, and I was scrambling trying to see if I could dig up any of the animals that I lost and trying to get lines out on some things, and so that's how Mark and I met, and it was him finding my iHeart page and reaching out, trying to find me and getting in contact with my brother Bobby, and so that's how Mark and I became friends. So
Mark,
now I can say the rest is history.
Mark, remind me how we met, because I can't remember.
I remember. So I had a carpet python. That I'd probably had for, I don't know, maybe a year, 2 years, not very long. And then I got a green tree, and I was like, oh, dude, I got to get rid of this carpet python so I can get more green trees. And so So I posted the carpet python on Craigslist, and it was a female, and you reached out and were like, "Hey, yeah, I'll buy it from you." So I was like, "Okay,
Shut up,
great.
GSJ.
I can come drop it off," and I did. And then I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like, who is this guy? Dude, he's got so many. He's got more carpet pythons and ball pythons, and like that was my first time seeing a private collection of that magnitude. And I was like, oh, dude, I need to come hang out with this guy. And I did. And so yeah, then I was probably over at your house like at least once a month for a while.
We had some adventures.
Yeah, we did. And the great thing about me and Bill's relationship was we got into chondros at like pretty much the same time, and so then like we caught the bug, and both of us just like went in like neck deep into green trees, and so then
it sounds like
we were like
addiction.
hunting. Yeah, dude, we were hunting down like Craigslist ads. We were trying to find new cages, and so it like we schemed a lot.
Yeah, we did. We
schemed to get that man.
Yeah. We became good friends fast, and a lot of that was because we lived so close to each other. You know, we were just
So then, Bill, like, your first designer was from Matt Morris, right?
Yeah, it wasn't my first designer. I think it was my second though. I got
So how'd you link up with Matt?
You know, Matt was actually, I don't even know if you remember, but Barry Manson connected us.
Yeah,
I remember that name. I remember Barry Manson.
Barry Manson is an old school guy who I don't believe he's into green trees anymore. But Barry was one of the guys, along with Patrick and a couple other people, that was instrumental into getting me into green trees. Barry bought a carpet python from me, and we developed a relationship, and that was right around the time of ICAS, which was what, 2011 or something?
Was it that? Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm trying to think of when.
I think it was 2011 was ICAS, which was the best the best expo, show, event, whatever you want to call it, that I've ever participated in, and it happened to be my first like, all right, I'm going to go out of state. I'm going to meet people that I've never met before. I had at the time one green tree, and so I went out there and I met a guy named Barry Manson, an older school green tree guy. And when I got back home into Texas, he hooked me up with Matt. And in fact, Matt and I met halfway between Dallas and Austin, and we've met.
No, you came down to here. You came to my house.
I did the first time.
Yeah, first time.
Okay.
That's when you picked up. I think you picked up five yellow Neos.
Yeah, and Biscuit was one of them.
Yep, exactly.
Biscuit, who has now produced 4 clutches for me.
Awesome.
Really a hallmark of
some nice animals. Yeah.
One of my breeding projects, Jaeger and Biscuit, have produced 4 clutches and some banger offspring, red and yellow.
And I think a couple years later, I sold you Jaeger, right?
That's right. You sure did.
Yeah.
That was, if you think about it, you're responsible for really my most hallmark animal in my collection is Jaeger. He has produced so much stuff for me and so many,
He's produced the Cygnus. He produced the Cygnus, right?
Yeah.
Travis has a picture of Jaeger that I sent him a little while ago. If we want to throw that up here, this is actually a picture from when Matt had him.
Oh wow! Yeah. Yep.
And Matt, am I correct that Jaeger is a product of Hillary Webb and Tony Montana?
Yep.
Tony Montana.
Yep. Tony Montana times HW. Yep. HW0113 was his dam.
That's right. And in fact, before I got Jaeger, Matt had produced a clutch or 2 with him. Is that right, Matt?
Yeah, I used to have one.
Yep.
Yeah, with Matt, we had one from Madam X. I'll tell you
Ken.
how much how serious Matt is about yellow babies. He sold me. He bred Jaeger to Madam X, who was a undocumented Biak type female, and he gave me first pick of the reds, like not after his choice, first pick of all the reds for $300.
Matt, you're
Jaeger's
going to
from
get some
High
phone
Yellow
calls
Lineage,
after
right?
this.
People gonna be knocking at your door, Matt.
Yeah,
Hey,
that was way back when.
yeah. And and of course I got the darkest one. And Travis, if you'll throw up that picture of Mina, that's Jaeger's sister.
Oh wow!
So I used to have her, and that was she was MM0709.
It looks
Clutch mate to Jaeger.
It looks almost identical to a
That's fire.
sickness female that I have here that I'm going to breed.
Yeah,
this year.
Strong blood, man.
Yeah, that Van Mierop blood really takes that melanism.
Yeah, very very potent.
Yep.
Hey Matt, you know I have one of your Jaeger kryptonite babies, and
yes, you do.
It's a
nice
high yellow, screaming maroon baby. Well, not a baby; it's an adult now, of course.
Yeah, adult now.
It was born in 13, I guess. Yeah.
I can't believe Jaeger is 18 years old this year.
Yeah.
Damn.
And he's
How many babies has he produced so far, Bill?
For me, I have no idea. I think about 10 clutches.
Wow.
Yeah, that was 2013, Ken. That was 2013.
Yeah, 2013. That's when it was born. Yeah.
That was Van Mierop to that's a Versace girl.
Matt pulled it up on the screen.
But yeah, that's
Jaeger.
that Versace.
Jaeger from Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, Jaeger. I'm talking about the one that Ken's got. Has got some of that albino lineage in it.
Look at that thing. Look at that thing.
This is a Jaeger biscuit female that I have on loan right now.
From Josh.
Yeah.
I was about to say I know who you got that
man.
from. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember him posting that.
This thing, I guess I'm being a little bold grabbing her out after
crazy.
dark, but she's actually a sweetheart.
Bill, I was going to ask you about this animal. So this was a yellow Neo, right?
What's that?
Yeah, she was yellow.
Neo, right?
Yellow Neo, yeah.
Do you think this may be the best produced yellow Neo that you've had?
It's the best that I've seen. That I've released so many.
You have.
Yeah, you have.
But
I've been looking at the yellow Neos. I've been trying to follow them. I think this may be
I think
your best production.
I think it's the best I've seen from that pair.
I think it's the highest yellow that I know
And
of.
the cool thing is that she has. It's hard to see in here, but she has black flecks on her.
Cool.
And she's got just a little bit of black flecking. And which is awesome. I know that's something that Matt was always going for. Yellow and black.
Remind me of the lemon tree animals.
Yeah, for sure. And she
only down dorsal right there.
Amazing.
Just splattered out.
She also along her neck, she has some of the and on her face, some of her old Neo markings are outlined in brown, the way that red Neos do when they go high yellow. It's pretty badass. This is a really, really cool fucking snake, and she's got a good amount of white scales on her and just this little bits of black tipping here and there. That's just super cool. She's awesome, man.
Amazing. I
That
wish
nice.
you so much luck with her, man. I can't wait to see what you do with her.
Yeah, well, I'll get back on the superstitious thing, but I'll send you a picture of what I'm going to do with her.
Okay. Fair enough.
Wow, that's a beautiful ass animal right there.
See, I am a yellow guy. See?
Yeah.
No.
That's not true.
No.
Not true. You started off with slander, so that's not true.
You let that one get it. You supposed to kept that one, Bill. I don't know. You was around too many anesthetic gases that day.
I think I've proven to be probably the worst picker of holdback chondros in the history of the chondro game.
I'm really good at picking holdbacks. I'm just not good at actually holding them back. I have a tendency to sell them off stupidly.
I still regret that one I gave to Mikey Marsh. But
that animal's sweet, dude. That thing is awesome.
I'm so mad.
Yeah.
So, if you guys got any more other stories about how y'all met, I don't know if Bill got to go around, or Matt or Mark, but yeah, you guys can still do that. I mean, we got time. That's why we started early.
Yeah.
So y'all can have all the time y'all need.
I pretty much touched base with with how I met.
Shut up, Mikey.
I think probably of the four of them, Ken's the one I had the least interaction with, and I think just a lot of that is just where, especially Patrick and Mark are located. They're just so close to me. I just get the chance to see them many times a year.
I really enjoyed.
We all got to hang out at Bill's house.
Right.
At one of the carpet fests. We were all there and got to connect face to face, which was really cool.
That's actually the first time I met you, Bill. Was at your house
in my place,
and that
first
was
time
such a wonderful event, and you have some gorgeous animals.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Yeah, Ken's talking about we met at my old place in Arlington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was been quite a while ago. That was
2017.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Certainly, yeah. Pre-COVID for sure.
Yeah.
But I think Matt, you were there too, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a great time. That was a huge
Matt was barely there. I think he was on the grill. Like,
I was on the grill. Man,
yeah. Hey, somebody's got to do that shit.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
There were over 100 people there that day.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember the year because I was still stuck in the halfway house. I just got out of the beds and I couldn't come, and I was pissed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you supposed to. I was about to say you supposed to request movement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got on the phone. I got passed around on the phone a lot though.
And you've made it to the new place plenty of times since then.
That's right.
Mikey, did you change your picture, Mikey?
I actually just had a Facebook memory pop up a while back that said 4 years ago at the old place when Amber and I were over picking up that Maniquari, and we were playing with the sickness and the blue cyclops female, and I don't know, a couple other animals, that Buddy Buscemi animal, and I think that was cyanosis that I had out that day too. But yeah, it's hard to believe that was 4 years ago already.
Yep.
Yeah, that was right before I moved.
Yeah. Seeing the sickness in person is that's something else, man. I'm really, really, really happy that I got to interact with that animal. He was just a one of a kind snake.
Yeah, one of a kind, and I was obviously, from the second clutch I ever produced. And I told the story before, I lost a lot of animals in that clutch because I didn't know what I was doing establishing the babies. But luckily, I didn't lose him. And luckily, he produced at a relatively young age before he passed. And so just so many things to be grateful for, and just that whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Patrick, you and Mark and Bill and whoever else up in Dallas, are y'all going to make it down to the Carpet Fest in Johnson City?
Yeah, I believe we are. We are. Kyle messaged me the other day. He said you and him are going to be cooking down there. Is that right, Matt?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I actually
That's what he
have
told me.
my little messenger bubble up on my screen right now is Kyle. He's sending me pictures from Alaska. He's up
Yeah,
there
yeah, he's
fishing and
doing some
whatnot.
halibut fishing too.
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
yeah,
sent some
yeah,
really nice pictures of that mountain that he was next to. I was
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
He just sent me some of those. He sent me some fish pictures and a video that I haven't watched yet with what looks like a moose on the side of the road or something.
Yeah. So, Bill, you can make it down there?
I'm not going to make it, unfortunately.
All right.
I'm going to go to Northeast Carpet Fest this weekend
Okay.
in Philadelphia.
Nice.
Philly.
Could not, obviously I wanted to get that event. I want to see Ari's place so bad,
Yeah.
Hmm.
but couldn't work it out that particular weekend.
I'm sure something will happen again down there.
Yeah, yeah. Or we can just do a small meetup down there or something.
That
Just
too. Yeah.
Yeah. They're always open to that, man.
Travis,
love
you
it
and Keno
down
going to
there.
come down?
for Carpet Fest. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be at Carpet Fest. Or you talk about for Tinley? I'm not Tinley,
It's
but
on
for
Fort.
NERBC.
No. I'm talking about down here in October 14th, down here in Johnson City.
Yeah, I'll be there. I talked
I
to
ain't gonna
Kyle
make it.
already. I'll be there.
What's in Johnson City?
That's at
Carpet
Replandia.
Fest.
That's Ari's place, or it's Quetzal's
Ari and
too.
Quetzal's.
But
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
talk to you about this.
Damn, I
Keno.
got.
yeah, we can fill you in on it.
No, you
I
ain't.
talked
Yeah,
to
you
you
gotta
about
talk to me
this.
about when.
I talked to you about this
When?
weekend. You remember what you said? Hey, I remember what you said, and we gonna talk about it after because I'll remind you what you said.
What I say?
Are you going? Are you going, Ken? Are you going to the Carpet Fest?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you going?
Yeah,
Good.
I need to
That's
engage. That's going to be a fun Saturday, no doubt.
it is.
yeah. And I will just be while Matt is stuck on the grill. I'll be stuck standing next to Matt, waiting on the food to come off the grill because that's what
Fair
I
enough.
do.
Fair
I
enough.
was eating. I was eating barbecue right before the show started. That's what my dinner tonight was. My dinner tonight was brisket, burnt ends, and a banana.
There you go.
Dinner champion.
Patrick, remember when I thought you were a vegetarian?
Oh my God. Terrible. I thought you thought better of me than that, Bill.
Patrick, you can't eat barbecue, man. You're vegetarian.
Yeah. Vegetarians don't have muscles like this unless they're on steroids.
I don't know. The whole yoga thing threw me off. I guess that was.
Yeah,
it must be the yoga pants.
I can see it. It's the yoga thing that I can see that a lot of yogis are vegans or whatever, but I practice yoga, but I don't necessarily align myself with all of that stuff. So
You do kind of look like a yoga teacher that be like doing personal sessions with people's wives. You do kind of look like that type of yoga teacher.
that's side hustle.
Yeah.
You should put plant-based in your life.
in the backyard.
I will never ever put plant-based in my bio. I will put carnivore in there before I put plant-based in there.
Plant-based.
Never.
So we can move on to the next one unless you guys got more. Because really, in reality, like you guys are going to drive this one. It's not going to be us.
Let's talk about some stuff.
All right, so
Where do you wanna
let's
go?
get into it. Let's get into it for real. Like, let's talk about the Texas accomplishments and like the lines that have come out of Texas and the crazy animals, because you guys know more of that stuff than we do.
Yeah.
So whoever wants to start first.
If we're gonna go chronological, I kind of think that Matt should probably take it back. Matt and Ken should take it back to their stuff from 2006 through 2009. That's really where, because Ken may know more about the Hillary Webb stuff. And maybe he can put it on some of that.
Ken with the Hillary Webb and the Houston Zoo. He was in it before I was.
Yeah, that's probably a good starting point.
School us,
Ken.
School us.
Yeah, then Matt, fire up your computer because we're gonna go to you next because you got a lot of stuff.
Hey,
you got
Matt,
a lot of stuff up in there. We didn't get to last time.
No, we didn't.
Hey Matt, you sent me a picture earlier. You didn't say anything about it. You just sent me a picture.
Okay, so the first picture was my care package from Chuck Those are the Kofiau. Second picture was that Houston Zoo animal of Byron Barnes.
Okay, so whenever you want me to show them, just let me know.
Yeah. Well, if Ken's going to talk about Houston Zoo, you can put that one up there. It's kind of an example. Houston Zoo is kind of known for its yellow, high yellow stuff too.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess you guys are wanting to focus on the Texas accomplishments, but that was really partly due to other breeders. When Tim Tremezzi put those two sarongs together and got these canary yellow offspring, that triggered me and others to get more designer stuff. I kind of, you talked about Damon's thought about locality. I went straight into the designers.
Okay, so Ken, right there, why would like a straight locality parent trigger you to go designer?
Well, I mean, I think localities have their place. I mean, I've got, gray bands and locality rosy boas, and I've never even thought about mixing rosy boas. I mean, they're from certain mountain ranges, but I came to realize that to get blue and black, the yellow component or the higher yellows were good to mute, and it was like a Christmas time. It was like a box of chocolates after 6-7 months. And so I shot for, BJ Arboreal, Rico stuff, Hillary Webb stuff, Tim Tremezzi stuff, Houston Zoo, and tried to, and Andrew Amon. Andrew Amon started to get into it. He got some screamer blue line mutts, and that's where I got to know Matt through Andrew. And Andrew and I became really good friends. But I wish I could regurgitate all the wonderful 4-colored serpents I've had in the past. I still got BJ Arboreal lines, and I still got the kryptonite Jaeger stuff. But I mean, what I've came to realize over the last 10 years, that I really like the Biak outcrosses. I would have bet my life that the Biak Arua outcrosses were not going to be real spectacular, but they sure seem to have injected a really good feeding response, and the diversity of colors, maybe not blue as much, but accomplishments out of Texas. You guys really have kind of paved the way here in the last 10 years. I did have Confetti. Confetti was a fluke from a Matt Morris Maruki. It was a Maruki and a Womena type, but those animals are not with me anymore. Confetti actually died. It had one of those puffy faced. Some people said it was a clogged eye, a problem, but it succumbed rather fast, and its head swelled up. It was a terrible thing, but that was a huge hit for me. But I'm gonna let others talk about the contributions, because I've diversified my species to the point where it really is, from the breeding aspects, been kind of detrimental. I think, Pat, you said, certain people, the best I did was have a dedicated chondro room for cycling exclusively. I mean, I've got 2 rooms in my house. One's a cold room. I call it a cold room, but it's mostly a clubbered room. And then I've got kind of a boid python room. And when I try and cycle that with Kenyans and Brazilians and stuff like that, I lose my focus. So these 6 babies I have now are a treat, and I'm excited to see what they turn out to look like.
So Ken, you had
Confetti was incredible. I remember when
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say before we pass it off, talk a little bit more about confetti and what was it like as a neo and what went into that pairing. And
Well,
like Bill said, he knew sickness like soon as it popped out the egg. Did you know that from confetti?
well, the siblings from Confetti pretty much turned out green.
Mm.
This is the female. This is the female from Matt Morris that produced Confetti and that litter. And it was bred with kind of a real mutt snake that was developed from Eric Cook in Dallas. But it has some albino genes connected to it. So I almost want to say the albino gene, and I think Bill's got some, I know Matt's got some, has a tendency to produce some real anomalies. And confetti was real special. But you know, I don't know. You know, have you guys ever heard of an eye duct clog? And it was a terrible thing to look at because I've had it happen twice in about 20 years where the snake's head just bloats up.
I had it happen once, but it was an impacted tooth.
I know this. I know this syndrome, and in fact, you guys may have known. I've heard of people that have even stuck needles in the head. It's almost like an air decompression.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
You heard of that?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
I've seen chondros heads blow up two different ways. One way is the way that you guys are talking about, where it's actually air, and and there can be various causes, but you actually get air that leaks out underneath. There's some type of perforation in the sinuses and the lung, and air can leak out underneath the skin. I've seen that be anywhere from completely harmless and it just got deflated and the tissue healed itself and it was resolved with essentially no treatment other than letting the air out of it. I have also seen that as a common symptom of advanced stage symptomatic nidovirus positive animals, where their lungs get perforated and air leaks out into the body cavity. And you know, so there's a few different ways that it can happen with when it's just air, and some of them are serious and some of them are not. But then there's also actual inflammation.
I remember that second way being described on the MVF in a couple
Yeah.
threads.
Yeah, and it's freaky when it happens, and like I say, sometimes it's a big deal and sometimes it's not. But I've also seen animals, most of which either had nido or probably had nido, that it was literal inflammation. They just got, you know, the associated respiratory infections, and those infections tend to travel into the eyes and other parts of the head, and the head just blows up with inflammation as well. So, but it doesn't take much. Also, if there's some kind of anomaly, especially if the animal is not particularly strong for whatever reason, a lot of weird designer animals are I'll just put it this way. A lot of really extreme animals. You know how when you hatch out a clutch, that like the prettiest ones are the dead ones? It's like when you have like a couple that are dead in the egg, it's always like the craziest looking ones. Sometimes those animals don't die. And but that doesn't mean that they were really meant to be around. And so sometimes those crazy pattern anomalies and color anomalies, just like the albino gene, can be attached to other things internally that are just where they're just weaknesses. And so things that might not bother a stronger animal can lay one of them down because they're not, just not as strong. And so lots of things can happen around the head that can cause serious inflammation very, very quickly, optic nerve infections and all kinds of stuff.
That's good information, Pat. That's probably more comprehensive than I've heard ever. Confetti was an anomaly, almost a paradox in some form. And she was the worst feeder out of the whole litter. She would drop and drop and drop her prey items compared to, I got confetti sibs still, that are the most aggressive feeders. And so I think there's something, I think there's something to everything you said, but I've always kind of agreed on the anomalies do seem to have, I wouldn't say a weaker immune system, but it's just they don't thrive as well as you would like. If you can get a solid blue animal that's a good breeder and thrives, I think that's huge.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, we see that a lot. It's easier to see that in females than it is in males because a lot of people will keep their males small and lean, and it's okay for them to look like that. And the rigors of reproduction are not the same. They don't tax males in the same way. But in a female, we see a lot of these extreme female. Well, we don't see a lot of extreme females. First of all, like extreme coloration is far more common in males. And that's partly just sexual dimorphism. That's not because all the extreme females are dying off. It's just more common for extreme traits to show up in male snakes for whatever reason, especially the chondros.
You talking about within the blue complex or the high?
No, all of them. All of them. Even locality animals. It's not consistent, but it's a thing. And so, but when we're talking about extreme designer females, first of all, they're rare, and secondly, a lot of them just don't thrive or don't get big. And Confetti was a very small snake. Confetti had a very diverse pedigree, though. So I don't want to. I think people have it wrong when they use the word inbreeding, talking about weak animals. I don't think they really understand what's going on there. I had a very interesting theory proposed to me a while back that it's not inbreeding at all. That it's just we're doing things like taking them away from the wild in generations since the 70s, right? We're breeding strictly for color and extreme traits. We're using animals that are maybe not the strongest animals to do it. And we're hybridizing. So if inbreeding was a problem, we wouldn't have Brettles pythons. We wouldn't have rough-scaled pythons. There's tons of examples of Australian animals that all the founder stock comes from like 4 snakes.
Angolans.
Morelia nauta, the Tannenbar scrub python, nauta means sailor. And they got that name because that island was never attached to the mainland. So the founding stock of an entire island of snakes came from a gravid female that floated over on a palm tree after a fucking hurricane or something like that, right? Like that, so the inbreeding is not necessarily problematic. Maybe after multiple generations of really tight inbreeding or whatever. But it's, I think there's a lot of things that can make these animals weak, but I kind of tend to agree with that theory that it's a combination of hybridizing and breeding for color and breeding for multiple generations without reintroducing wild blood. Who was it?
I think you could also just say you can also chalk it up to incorrect husbandry and poor incubation techniques and so many like non-snake genetic things.
Absolutely.
Why don't we see a ton of like really extreme designer, great looking females? Well, because a lot of them died before they're able to really develop into a huge female. So, or they have, kinks because of poor incubation or, whatever, or they're, just overfed because people are trying to grow them up to breed them quick. So, tons of reasons.
It was the name I was trying to remember was Keith Thompson. Keith Thompson said it was in a thread about maternal incubation, and he said that the further away that they get from wild in generations, the shittier of moms they become, and that the best results that he ever had from maternal incubation were with import females, and the deeper and deeper they got in captive bred generations, the worse they were at maternal incubation. That's just an example of what I mean by taking them so many generations from the wild. And I mean, that it just shows in a lot of stuff. I mean, there's not like, I don't like to bash on the blue line because I love blue line stuff, but I have seen countless blue line animals that were just small animals that were not strong. Doesn't mean that there's not plenty of awesome, healthy blue line snakes out there. There absolutely are, but I've seen a lot of them that were not.
Well, I think these are all real good points. There was a subject.
Yeah, I've had a couple of them.
There was a subject, when we talk about green tree pythons, I recently had one of my baby Neo green trees cigar back. And I've had snakes for 35, 40 years, and there's no species, and someone may know of one, that if they stress out, their back looks broken. Now it always goes back into play, but it is a stress-induced phenomenon that is, I think it's unique to green trees. And since I got everyone's attention, my battery on my phone is plummeting, and I do not have a splitter to charge it and be on this.
Ken, get rid of that flip phone, bro.
I'm old, Bill. I like it. What can I say?
Get an iPhone 3, man.
Yeah, this is a good phone, but I don't know what. I had it at 100% and it's plummeting. So if I drop out, you guys will know. But it's dropping down to the teens now, and that's not good.
I'm sitting here with two cell phones and a laptop while doing all of this.
I'm retired now, so let's just
I'm jealous.
It's
hey,
not.
Travis, you need to get one of those ladies to go ahead and buy you an extra charger. I'm playing games, man.
Hey Travis,
you need one for
what's going on, man?
Can you put up that last picture I sent you?
I sure
that yellow
can.
one? Ken, you recognize this?
Holy shit!
Wow! Whoa!
You recognize that, Ken?
I do, but I'm old.
That was your snake.
I do.
Yeah, that was Flowers.
Like a kryptonite Jaeger.
Was that?
No, that's Flowers.
That's Flowers.
Is that Houston Zoo blood?
Yeah, that's a Houston Zoo
No,
blood.
no, it wasn't.
No, what was it?
No, that was Wyatt.
Oh, that was a Wyatt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Look at the white on that snake, and that was a female, I believe.
Yeah.
This animal goes back to does blue lines go back to Houston Zoo?
I don't think so.
Not the blue lines as much.
Yeah, but
more yellow.
The Wyatt,
I'm thinking about the PNG side. I mean,
I don't know how many were documented for PNG from them, but they had so many different kinds. I don't know.
So much white on that, man.
Yeah, that one went to Andrew Kelly, didn't it?
Yeah,
Charlie Sheen's nostrils.
Yeah, that went to Andrew Kelly.
Yep.
Is that a Charlie Sheen part on the way?
Charlie Sheen.
Andrew kept offering more money, and I finally, every man's got his price. Well, I did. I had a price, and he hit it. So.
He kept up in them comments, huh? You couldn't say
$1 is $1.
All right, Travis, can you do that Houston Zoo one? That other one?
That was a female, by the way, Matt?
This one?
Yeah, that one. That's a Houston Zoo. That was from Byron Barnes.
Wow. So
so this is hormonal. She's hormonal, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yellow baby. So that blue female that I have right now that Ken produced in 2006, her mask and head look just like that. And she's while she has less white because she was more of a tricolor than a like, or just had less yellow before she went hormonal. She's very, very similar to this snake in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who's got Houston Zoo blood anymore. I don't think there's much of anything left on Houston
John
Zoo.
Lucky got a yellow Neo that looks just like this hormonal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go do some digging on that one too.
I'm hoping I can get that girl to breed. I've gotten her to
Damn,
lock
that's
up with I got her to lock up with my Vinsky male a few times, but
Tommy,
she's
could you bring that first yellow
she's an older
on
girl.
just like 2 seconds? The one with the
This
olive
one?
white on there, please. Yes.
Flowers? Yeah.
I just want to see this one more time.
What was the really high yellow and white animal that Julian Garcia had?
Summer.
Summer.
Kino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Summer was gorgeous.
I had to go.
So-
I gotta go wipe myself now.
Summer was, if I remember correctly, Summer was a Brandon Osborne animal from Big Mama and Big Daddy, which was Houston Zoo blood.
Yeah, or was it Sedgwick County?
I
don't remember.
I don't remember. I could be wrong about the Houston Zoo thing. Maybe it was SCZ blood, but that's big. Big Mama and Big Daddy were, I think that's what their names were, or something like that. They were both solid green animals that I think they produced 3 clutches, and like the most consistent high yellow pairing I've ever seen from solid green animals. There's that one really well-known picture of those 3 holdback females that are all like 2 or 3 years old. And he's holding all 3 of them at once on perches, and you can't tell the difference between the 3 of them. They're all just ridiculous high yellow animals.
Yep.
Well, Greg Schroeder, remember Greg Schroeder? He had some high white animals, and he
that
had
was all lemon tree stuff.
That was lemon tree stock.
Yep.
And those were real special animals.
That's what that baby just reminded me of. That's why I asked him to pull it up again. Man.
I had a Houston Zoo male I bred, and I outcrossed it with a Biak female, and it turned into a real spectacular muted high yellow. So it was kind of a mustard high yellow, but I nicknamed it Face Biter because it literally, I don't know, it could have been 12-pound female. It was a big girl, but Bill was talking about wearing welder's gloves or falconry gloves. That's what you needed with her.
Oh no, Bill seems like a bear mace type of guy.
What?
Bear mace. You just mace them.
Yeah, I wear those gloves when I get my ball python clutches off. Okay.
That's okay, Bill. That's okay, Bill.
It's not about the bites. It's a style thing.
No, it's a smart thing. It's a smart thing at our age.
I tell people all the time it's for the animals' protection, not mine.
Good.
So, Matt, did you want to go anymore?
I'm looking for a picture. I've got to find it, but I wanted to put a picture of Summer up there.
Oh yeah, Summers. There was the picture that everybody knows of Summer was in Maxwell's book. And Julian's kind of still around, and he still has a few snakes that he's hiding. Yeah.
Does he? Huh.
Yeah, he stays pretty quiet.
Yeah, he does. I like Julian.
Not as quiet as me. I stay pretty quiet these days.
Do you?
Yeah.
Where do you stay quiet at?
He's playing on the scene.
I have an RV. I'm retired. I got 200 babies. Life is good. It'll be your turn one day, Kino.
My turn?
It'll be your turn.
All right, Travis, you got Summer?
Kino's definitely not going to be an RV dad.
No, I can't see myself driving the RV.
Yeah.
All right.
Keto
So, hey,
gonna
Mark,
pull
when
up
you-
I don't know.
when you-
It depends. Can I put rims on the RV?
Keto
Yeah,
gonna
you
pull
can-
up to see
yeah,
his grandkids in an El Dorado.
I might put some. I might turn out the RV.
Hey, Mark, doesn't that look like Sundance?
It looks a
Man,
lot like Sundance. Yeah.
Damn.
oh
So this
Yeah.
called
man,
summer.
That's summer.
Yeah. Matt, I would love to see a picture of Sundance. Sundance was probably was one of my favorite yellow Neo high
I
yellows
love the
ever.
white eyes.
Yeah, well, it's with Mark, so let's talk to
Yes,
Mark.
sir.
Mark, you don't bring
Yeah,
Sundance
there's
out a lot. Why? Mark?
there was
Go ahead, Pat.
I was gonna say there was a picture of Sundance, just one picture I'm thinking of from when Matt had him. That was just, I mean,
Yeah,
that thing
Matt
was.
had a lot of good outside pics of him. Yeah, Sundance. He passed away, maybe 2017, 2018. It was before COVID, and just never got him to breed.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
Let me see if I can find a picture.
Yeah, that was
I like
that was
this
an
part of the
amazing
show
snake.
right now. This is what we wanted to happen. You guys are going
Yeah,
and digging through your albums. If you guys got more pictures, send them through.
Well,
Man, I've got so many pictures. Let me see
I
if
do
I
Man,
can
I'm
too.
see
loving this
from
high
this.
yellow stuff. I don't know who told
Well,
y'all
send the
that I love
pictures.
the high yellow stuff, but man, this is like yellow
So,
chondro
Then we only
ejaculation.
got a picture. We got one picture of Jaeger. You can send some pics
so
too, bro.
a couple of pictures that I already sent. You can put up the one of Ajax.
Yeah, let's.
Oh yeah, I liked
Which one, the
Ajax.
first one or
So
the second one?
There's
yeah,
Ajax.
either one. So that's Ajax when Andrew had him before Matt got him, I believe, or maybe right after Matt got him.
Yeah, I think that's Andrew's picture. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always recognize all those because they had these crepe myrtle branches, and then they had these two little Y-shaped branches that they would stick in the ground to mount their other crepe myrtle branches on to take the pictures.
Yep, that's exactly what we did.
And so this animal was probably a Bushmaster animal that Troy France brought in, and he was already starting to change, and he was labeled as a Lamena. And Andrew had him and produced a clutch with him, and and the other picture of Ajax was after I got him from Matt, and he was just a really nice bluish animal, and it just one of my favorite chondros that I've ever had.
It was a great example of a Wymena.
Yeah, and when he was also dominant red.
That's a beautiful import animal.
Yeah, he was amazing. And he when Andrew bred him to Nari is the Maruki female that I sent pictures of, and she had a huge all red clutch with that male. So he was a
dominant red, yeah. Because before that, it was an all yellow clutch with her. Before that.
Yeah, all yellow with yolk and mixed clutch with Palin. So her first clutch with Palin was 2000, and you can put those pictures of Nari up if you want. That's the Maroke female. She was a big, badass snake.
She was big. Those eggs she produced were huge.
Yeah. And that's Nari, and Palin was a Cyclops type male. And that was the first clutch, mixed clutch, red and yellow. And then her second clutch was with what was he, like a Oshi Biak outcross?
I think so.
That's a beautiful example.
Yeah, she was something else, man. There's the other picture that I sent of her is the one that people are more familiar with. The picture's been used in pedigrees with her and whatnot. Yeah, that one. That's the picture that most people are familiar with.
She was gorgeous.
Yep. She ended up going to Brian Toya, right, in New York.
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember exactly.
She went to Brian Toya. And then, if I remember correctly, she went to Brian, and then Barry had some red Neo high yellow on loan to Brian to pair with her, but it never happened or something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, she looked
those
big too.
those two snakes you just showed, the Maruki and the Womena, is what produced Confetti's dame.
Yes.
Yes,
And
yeah, that's
and
Yes.
that's
and
one of the reasons I was bringing these up.
well, thank you. I mean, because
Yeah,
those
way
are
to
two
tie that in.
locality specific animals that that produced the female that produced confetti, and it's interesting. I got 8%. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Why are we living like this, Ken? Ken, why are we living like this, man?
You know, I only do podcasts with you guys. I mean, you know.
We should feel
If you're
special.
not if you're not living life on
We
the edge, you're
appreciate that,
taking up
Ken.
too much
That's right.
space.
Yeah, he can go charge his phone and then come back in a few minutes later and he'd be like, "All right, guys, I got 15 more percent to hang out with
Yeah,
y'all."
Nah, I was
right.
actually gonna tell him to do that because I don't want him to just die and just don't be gone. You need
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
we
don't
want you
die,
here,
don't die,
Ken.
Ken.
I don't want to. I'm really enjoying all this. This is good, but 8%
Um,
is not good.
Matt, do you have what was that? Do you have any pictures of any blue animals that Andrew produced? Any or maybe any of his holdbacks?
Hey, Mark, I got your pictures. Hey,
Yeah, that's
That he
Sundance.
produced.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. If we want to talk about Andrew, his best blue animal was that. It was like a Mojo Cha Cha or something like that.
Yeah, he did have a Mojo Cha Cha.
His name was like Blue Cheese or some shit like that,
Yep.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Blue cheese. Yep.
Oh, geez.
Yep.
That snake was ridiculous.
Oh, okay. You know what? Hold on. I just found a quick picture of him. Let me see if I can send it to
Yeah, we
Travis.
could talk about Andy Amon a little bit, man, because he's been mentioned on a few shows, and
I'm looking at a pedigree right now, and this is what it reads of a male I got from Andrew. This is the sire of the male I got from Andrew, which was a BJ Arboreal. Sire is a product of BJ Arboreal Super Blue Male Sky and Bluebird Grasshopper. This clutch is better known as the Godiva clutch. Produced high blue animals, blueberry, plum-gato, and Godiva. So I mean, and the dame of that clutch had Mr. Blue and a bunch of Rico Waldo killers. It was
nice. That was a good clutch.
Because that was the 05188 sibling. So that was Mr. Blue Carolina. So that was 02 SH02152, I think, was that Mr. Blue Carolina male bred to a P&G female that was SH00069.
All right, Travis, there's blue cheese for you.
I got it. I'm about to put it up right now.
Yeah, blue cheese was ridiculous. Is this the plant pot picture?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Put your new picture.
Oh, jeez.
Fuck.
It's wicked.
Damn.
That's where it's at, guys. That's where it's at.
Wicked.
Man. Wow.
Yep. Pretty spectacular.
I have that rack, that old Habitat Systems rack that I got from Ken that used to be Andrew's, and I use it in my warehouse at the shop for a quarantine rack. And at first I kind of felt bad, like that I put anything other than chondros in there. But since I've had it, I've run a bunch of chondros through there in quarantine, a lot of other stuff too. It's got right now there's 4 chondros, 3 wagglers, vipers, and a Sulawesi temple viper in quarantine in that Andrew Amon rack.
Hey, Pat, that maroon neonate I got from you for that rack has turned out spectacular. And it's really a dark forest green with blue laterals and black specks.
Awesome.
And I'd love to see what the sibs look like of that critter. So I'll post it on MV. here
I need to do a update post and get everybody to share theirs. I am, like I mentioned before, I was about to say I'm mildly retarded. That's true as well, but I only
I
kept
agree.
one
I
pair.
agree because I'm
Yeah.
still waiting on Axum sibling pictures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. Sorry about that. Her sister's a shit too. See, I smartly kept back 5 from that clutch, but I only kept one pair from each of the crook clutches because I'm mildly retarded. Because I'm good at picking holdbacks and then not good at not selling them. Um, but it's funny because my holdbacks from both of those clutches are very, very similar. The two males are both really high yellow. It's got Hellboy and his little brother, and then the two females are green with black flecks and blue highlights. And the wild thing is that the younger clutch, the second crook clutch, they're 8 months younger, but they've outgrown their older siblings. They're just bigger animals. Pretty
Wow.
cool.
Wow.
That's crazy to see the similarities in sexes, though.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But it's
So
also those two males are the only really high yellow animals from each clutch. And I kept the second one because I knew he was going to follow the same lines as Hellboy because he had the same neonate look. So the first one, and I knew Hellboy was going high yellow too, just because of the shade of red that he was when he hatched out. And the funny thing about that is when I did the first crook pairing, I don't remember who I was talking to. It was probably Brian Fisher. And when I was looking at Crook and pairing him to a Biak female, I said, this clutch is mostly going to be green snakes with some yellow flecks on their neck and some black scales. And if I'm lucky, I'll get a high yellow or maybe even a high black. And that clutch threw one high yellow, one high black, and a whole bunch of snakes that are varying degrees of green with black flecks and yellow necks. So it's like literally, I will probably never have before and will never again accurately call a Biak out cross clutch, but I did it once.
Yeah. Can you, Travis? Can you put that last picture up?
yeah, Bill, you want to submit some pictures if you want to. I got all your pictures, Mark. Also, I told Bill with all them black snakes over there, he is just like Big Daddy from Django. I'm gonna hold on to that.
Hey, yeah, Lucky 13. That was the sleeper clutch. That was
Yeah,
that was the second.
that was a yep. So that was
What's the genetics on this pairing, Matt?
that's a high yellow, an OS high yellow to a Biak. So basically, it was Splash, and Andrew had it. It was Yak, and Yak Nari pairing.
Damn,
Yak's
it's purple. It's purple though. Damn.
That's a younger picture of her.
Yeah, that's the markings are lavender when they're still changing.
Yeah,
but,
she's still young in that picture, but that's the only one I got right now.
Yeah, that was solid green parents and mostly locality blood and threw some really nice high yellow babies. That was a cool clutch.
Yep.
You want to go through some of your pictures, Mark?
Yeah. So the first one is the high yellow animal that I got from Matt. And its name was Sundance.
Yes.
So those are some of the
gorgeous.
The first handful of pics are ones that Matt took when Sundance was still pretty young. And
yes, dude.
And then he was. I mean,
Matt, why'd you sell this?
Like,
why'd you sell this? By the way, why'd you sell this?
So this was well I loaned it to Mark because Mark at the time I was going through the Nido thing, and so was Mark, and he had some Nido animals that he was going to breed, and this was one of mine, and I wanted to see what we could do if anything. It was a total just I wanted to go somewhere that it could do something because all my females were gone at the time, so I had nothing to put him with.
Right, you just wanted to die. I got you.
Yeah, we were throwing a Hail Mary and hoping something would come out of it.
Yep, exactly.
Damn, he's beautiful.
Yep, he was special.
but yeah,
That's a
so
sexy ass animal right there, man.
Sundance was pretty awesome. I mean, as far as a high yellow animal, it didn't get much better than him. Having blue dorsal stripes or blue dorsal pattern on him, and then being 95% yellow.
Yeah.
Um,
And that was
he
a Kim
pretty
Burge
special.
animal, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then that was when I had him a little bit older, but still, he was just phenomenal the whole time. And then the other pictures I sent, and I'm sure Matt has a ton more, but were of the Andrew Amon blue female, which was the sibling to SH 05188.
What picture is this right here?
I'm pretty sure that's the Amon female.
Yeah, those are the same pictures
Okay.
I got. Yeah.
Yep. And
She got a big old head on her.
it's really cool because she was a sibling to one of the most
I cannot
famous
lie.
chondros that ever came out of Rico's collection, but also it is just a blue line founder, 05188, and
Yep.
I think it's really really cool that so this snake's ID number has kind of gotten just lost in the mix, but it almost adds this like extra mystique to the Amon blue line, where it's just that little bit of chondro history of like, man,
Yeah.
no one knows her ID,
everything, but
man,
yeah, everything.
that's the
We got
Amon
most of
blue
her
female.
ID. Yeah, we got most of her ID, just not her number.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah, she's 0518 something.
It's 051 question mark. Yeah, I don't on my pedigrees. That's what it's. I don't have a final number on it.
And so it just a really cool, like, unique thing for the Andrew Amon blue line to have just that little twist in it where it's like, okay.
Yep. What do you got, Bill? Anything?
Travis, I sent you a couple of pictures on Instagram.
All right, let me go get them. Let me go grab them real quick.
I don't know how else to send them.
Oh no, this is fine.
They're not yellow. They're not yellow babies.
Oh.
I thought that's why we were here.
I was about to send pictures of these to Travis, and I'm like, why would I send him pictures when the snakes are like in the next room? So
yeah, exactly.
The two males.
So this is the male from Crook Times Kink. So this was the second Crook clutch, and he is just ridiculously high yellow and awesome, and he still has that cool like kind of orangey gold tint that a lot of the red Neo high yellows can get, and he still has he's in shed right now too, but he's got this like cool white shading, and he's got blue and white on his face. It's a really cool snake.
You've been hiding that one from me.
Yeah, so this one's Hellboy's little brother. This is the
Let's see Hellboy.
This is the Hellboy lookalike. And well, first, so this is the sister. So these two are clutch mates, and she still has a little bit of feeding response going. So I'm trying not to get bit in the face. But you see her black and she's got the blue all that blue shading on the sides.
Yeah.
And then Hellboy's sister, Uncle Ruckus, is over at Amber's house, but she looks pretty much just like this.
Name a snake fucking Uncle Ruckus.
I named her Uncle Ruckus because when she first hatched out, she had one of her eyes was huge, and I was like, oh my god, it's Uncle Ruckus. But the funny thing is that she grew into the eye, and it's normal size, but it moves and it sees light, but she doesn't have full eyesight in that eye. But she's actually even prettier than this female. This girl was one of the pinstripe ones. If you guys remember,
when did she tell you that she didn't have full eyesight in the eye?
Because the way she reacts, It's it's just really obvious the way that she reacts to visual stimuli that she doesn't have full sight in that eye.
Oh, it was like on the
Yeah.
side of her head.
I've never seen a
Yeah.
human girl grow into a cockeye though, so I don't know what you're talking about.
So,
Yeah, and coming from a pimp, that means
What
something.
is he talking about?
Come on, Mark.
I
Not
think
true,
we lost
Mark.
Kino.
Not true,
Kino
Mark.
needs
Kino needs a moment.
Dude, sometimes I get just the perfect joke, and Kino's there on it, and man, he just loses it.
That's because he's an asshole. That's why Kino's an asshole.
I'm an asshole. I just reacted to shit.
Oh man, those are beautiful.
You can't see it. You can't see it in the video really, but this was one of the pinstripe animals. If you guys remember, there was some crazy reduced pattern and pinstripe animals, and Mark produced some cool pinstripe animals too. So we may try to do something with that. I'll put these guys up and get Hellboy.
All right, so
hey, Matt, you mentioned that Patrick was hiding those from you, but to be honest, you don't care about those because they're red Neos. You don't want.
Yeah, that's true.
So
true, very true.
while he's getting the Hellboy, we're gonna let Bill talk about his babies.
Ah,
There you go.
jeez.
Yeah,
That's what
Uh,
I'm talking about.
That's some crazy shit.
Patrick
Mark's
Ewing right there.
Mark saw these today. Mark came over and visited today. We had worked out a real nice trade, a couple of animals, and so Mark got to see these. These were the ones I all sent you were Freight Train babies. Freight Train was produced by John Irby.
Yep.
And, he produced really some of the craziest looking phenotypic I've ever seen. This is I posted this, and a lot of people said it looked like a blue, some kind of blue tint to it, but that animal is as black as you can get. I think Mark will confer with that it is as black as the perch. There's no red or involved.
Where are people seeing the blue tint on that snake?
I don't know. I got a lot of messages that it looked like it had a blue.
This is like that weird ass meme where it was like a couple years ago where it was like gray or blue. The dress.
The dress. Yeah.
Dress. Yeah.
Because
Didn't that dude
I'm
like
seeing
kill his
all
wife or
black. I'm
something?
seeing all. Oh.
So those are clutch mates right there, and that obviously the most extreme pattern and the least extreme pattern. I just took a picture of them together.
So Bill, did those
Look at the eyes.
John
too.
John
All the
got
eyes
those
in the
from
clutch like
Ben
that,
Evans,
Bill?
right?
Pat, show Hellboy.
So did he?
Well,
did
no,
John
I mean,
Irby get those?
I'll show them, but you guys still. I want to hear you guys talk about those black snakes. I'm here for the black snakes.
Oh man, it's about to get terrible.
Bill, are all the eyes in the clutch like that?
What's that?
Are all the eyes like that pure black in the clutch like that?
No. There's some that have a lot lighter eyes. They look as crazy, but they're not as black as that.
So Bill, the ones from John Irby, did he get those from Ben Evans? Some of that.
Yeah,
The parents
that's
to Freight
Ben-
Train.
that-
Like
Yeah,
Ben
that's
Evans
Ben Evans
stuff, right?
stuff.
It's Soul Train bred to Strictly's is what produced Freight Train. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. Soul Train was a Ben Evans.
Yep.
Yep.
Animal.
Hellboy's crazy.
Yeah.
Look at that blue on his face. So cool,
That
man.
snake broke the
That
internet
is
today.
awesome.
Man,
Gorgeous.
you are the king of Beox, Pat.
It broke.
He
That
is.
snake broke Facebook.
It's
I
like Kim Kardashian's booty.
I don't count
No,
my
it was
snakes
like-
very often,
It was a
and
lot.
I don't
know
count
it
my
was a lot of
chondros
shares
very
on that
often.
snake.
But I popped on the other day messaging Brian Fisher because I just messed up and decided to count, and I have 42 BX right now.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
Shit.
40 of them
And
were females.
and look, I message Brian Fisher pretty much every day. He's one of my other favorite people in the hobby, and he's also a fellow Biak fanatic. He has an amazing collection of Biaks, and I said, dude, I have 42 fucking Biaks right now, and only 20 of them are new babies. The rest are holdbacks and breeders. And I said, what the fuck is wrong with me? And Brian said, nothing. And I was like, that's why we're friends.
Enablers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at my favorite thing about Hellboy, besides he's got the blue on his face, but it's this neck, man. He's got that calico neck. I used to think that Crook was a Ben Evans animal. But after seeing his offspring and seeing how they changed, I kind of lean towards him having calico blood.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the one that Steven Saltzman has, that one looks
the Void,
super calico-esque.
Yeah, you guys were standing there when I handed him that thing in the parking lot at Saltgrass Steakhouse when it was a tiny little brown baby.
I was there.
Yeah. You guys were standing right there when I handed it to him.
This is that baby that I sent you.
Holy shit!
Oh man,
That is dark.
There's a red tinted one in that clutch that I think is going to end up having a change like Hellboy.
Yeah, there's a
So
couple.
based off our conversation, this is probably going to be a male.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope so.
Exactly. Yeah.
I hope
It's gonna
so.
be
This is a kind of a pro tip, and it's not
That's
super
beautiful,
consistent, but I promise you, if you always hold back only the prettiest ones, you will end up real male heavy. That's just based on neonate color. And a lot of the things we say are we're just being cynical assholes about chondros. There's something to that, and it's not just chondros. Like I said earlier in the show, male snakes tend to be prettier even as neonates. I've had the same thing with my Amazon tree boas, where if I keep all the pretty ones, they're all males. It's just a thing, man.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Bill and I were talking about that today, about how
Bill, this the same animal?
seeing a
Different.
like
Fuck.
a weird
Same
like
clutch?
crazy designer female is
Different
super
clutch.
rare.
Yeah.
Yep. It is.
hey,
And
Bill,
especially
you want
with
to talk
black,
about these two super maroon babies?
Yeah, what's the parent on this, Bill?
So that is Freight Train to Pink, and the other one is the one that looks very similar, but it's a little different. That one is Freight Train to Mountain Brew.
Okay.
That's actually this baby right here.
Yeah.
What about this one?
Well, that's Freight Train. That's the
Yeah.
side.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain Dew got high yellow genetics, right?
Mountain Drew's a freak. It's a Kofiau and Blue Line. It's one of those Ben Evans Rico. What do they call it, Patrick? The monster or the freak? They called it something weird.
The alien clutch.
The alien, yeah, alien.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
That comes
The-
pairing.
The alien clutch was Blue Boy times Kofiau that Chuck did.
Yep.
Yeah. Chuck Vogel did that one. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before he sold Blue Boy to Dave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's a
rest in
weird
peace.
pairing.
Very much
Rest in
so.
peace.
I'm
Ken
sorry,
Spawn.
I missed out on that. Yeah, Peace out, Ken. Ken died.
We miss you, kid. See you
We're
at
gonna
the
make it.
crossroads.
We're gonna have to make the rest of the show a tribute to Ken. This is Ken's phone memorial service.
Yeah, it's a repast. No fighting at the repast.
Ken's phone had
We need to get some shirts
nidovirus.
made.
Well, so I'm sorry, I missed the part about the alien though. How did the alien figure into that pairing?
I don't remember exactly what Drew Russell paired with one of those alien.
Gotcha.
I know Biak. I think there's Biak in there as well.
I'm trying to. Oh no. Okay, so is your Drew Russell female a 2018?
Yes.
Yes.
From his high yellow clutch.
It was Hayes. I think it was Hayes Aura. He called it.
So that pairing is there is not alien blood in there. There is Canariac blood on both sides. So I have.
Yeah, you're right.
I have a sibling.
And Blue Line in there as well. Trooper
Yes,
Walsh.
yeah. So it's Walsh Blue Canariac times Oshie Canariac.
Yeah.
Is what that because I have a clutch mate to that female.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get her to go. Hadn't happened yet.
The one I have looks really good. A red baby, obviously, but a lot of pastel yellow and green. And
it's a cool pairing. It was a really cool pairing, and some of them went through some crazy changes too.
Yeah.
Mark, you want to talk about your pictures now?
I got the. I don't know if you traded for that, Bill.
Yeah, we were talking about
the one that you traded him to get that.
Awesome.
She the one laid the clutch this year for me.
Oh no! Is that right? You got it from Drew?
Yep. Yeah, he traded me that animal as he sold it to me as a male. Like it was around like 15 months.
Okay.
He was like, this animal a male. He had been feeding like a male, and then she just never shared pugs.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
And then she got bluer and bluer. And every now and then I tease him about that. I'm like, hey, look at this male. This might
the male that he paired with her to get that clutch was one that I produced. So Kino, his first successful clutch was from animals that you and I produced.
Outstanding.
Super cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
No, I had to get my hands on that because your 2017 clutch, I think those are red dominant animals.
Yeah, I think so too.
The son of B to the blue cyclops.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Mark, break this down.
Yeah, we were talking about the pinstripe stuff. Bill hatched out some really cool like patternless pinstripe babies this year, and Patrick and I hatched out really cool patternless pinstripe babies back in 2020, and this was one of mine. This is actually Wuhan as a baby. All three of those pictures that I sent you, Trav, that was like fresh out of the egg. And
y'all really brought out the black chondros tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was one where
I remember this.
Like,
this is your COVID calico clutch. I think you called it, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. The beginning of 2020 is when that hatched out. So really, really cool. And I mean it's super cool that Patrick and Bill, have similar stuff going on, and man, we can work together on a lot of stuff, and even just get to watch them grow up in each other's collections. Like, man, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like about keeping it in Texas. You get to watch all this stuff grow up.
Yeah.
No, I gotta come rob Texas, Matt. No. Trust me, I'm coming.
Keep your ass out of Texas.
Come on, man.
In that damn
No,
Prius.
I'm about to make a few moves. I need to pop in on my stagecoach.
Come on down.
A
You
damn
need a
know,
bigger hat.
Are you coming down in September? Are you coming in
Nah,
September?
not in September. I think I'm gonna come down there in the spring.
Okay.
In February?
Yeah, I'm coming down there for sure in the spring. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna come down there, but I think I might take a stagecoach to Texas. I already took one stagecoach to Texas in June.
Coach.
I'm gonna take it, and I took another one in 19. I think I'm gonna take another real soon.
Hey man,
You gotta
Hey,
creep into
we got-
Texas, man. I can't. You gotta sneak into a back room or something.
hey man, we got it all here in Texas. I remember when I went to Bill's house, I was like, damn man, this is legends everywhere here. And Mark gave me a hug, man. Thanks for that hug, Mark.
Always.
But yeah, man, we got time, man. What else do y'all want to talk about? Y'all the legends.
Where do you want to go?
I want you to go
Listen.
digging again, man.
I
when
feel
you
like
look at
Pat's
the
gonna
computer.
send you some more pictures,
I
man.
like I like when Matt.
That's
I like when he does.
All right, Keno, what do you want? What are you looking for? Let's see what I can find.
Yeah, that's what I'm sitting here doing, is like looking for pictures to send Travis.
Send all the pictures. So we've seen some amazing animals here tonight. I don't think we've been able to show this many amazing animals, but you know,
They
this
weren't
is pretty
feeding,
great.
no.
Something that I can throw out there while we're while we're waiting to get into. I'm going to kind of bring it forward in time a little bit, because we've been talking about a lot of Texas history. Something that I think needs to be said right now is, and please somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this is anywhere close to inaccurate. I'm pretty sure that there are more badass designer chondros in Texas right now than anywhere else on Earth. The best designer collection on the planet is in Colorado. I don't think anybody argues with that.
Which collection?
But
you talking about Dave D?
Dave's, yes, Dave has the most extreme chondro collection on Earth. There's no question about that. There's no way anybody's hiding anything crazier than that. The only other person in the States that has a collection with that level of like calico and blue lineage and stuff is Christian, because who the fuck knows what he's hiding over there.
Yeah.
And
then
Marshall.
Marshall's not
What
too far
about
behind.
and then after, behind them with blue line and calico stuff, are going to be John Irby and Marshall. But in Texas, there's a bunch of new guys that have insane collections
it's
now.
a dude in Alaska that got some nice stuff too.
Yeah.
I can't think of his damn name.
Oh, Rich
Rich
Culver?
Culver.
Rich?
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got some.
Nobody really knows what Rich has got going on up there right now. So,
No, nobody knows.
there's also some other things I could say about Rich Culver's photographs, but it seems to be an infectious problem.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, you were talking about the dudes down south, because you got Sean Collins, you got Lupe Salazar.
Lupe's collection is fucking crazy,
and then Gulf Coast chondros too.
Yes. There are 3 completely insane designer collections in the 4. It's Steven too. I mean, dude, Steven.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a million chondros like a few of the other guys down there, but the stuff he has is ridiculous. He's got a ridiculous. And look, on the subject of extreme females, the one that he got from me, the Void.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of the more extreme females in the country right now. And you don't always see them with that high black. But the most high black females that I can think of off the top of my head were all siblings. La Fonda and Black Betty and Ella Diablo.
Yeah. Most melanistic females, they lose the black around year 3 or 4
over there.
Yeah, but it's just crazy how many, like, I mean, look, all the shit that Bill just showed us, all the stuff he's already produced, and then he's like just now hatched like the most extreme the most extreme looking neos that have hatched out yet this year, I think. And you know, and then I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a handful of nice looking chondros over here as well.
Oh, we know.
Go ahead, toot that
And
horn.
I think we're going to dominate Florida here.
oh
I think
man,
we're gonna.
I don't know. In the numbers, I don't think anybody's going to be. I don't think anybody's going to be anywhere close.
No, I
So
don't think
Man,
so.
y'all a hotbed.
Yeah.
I'm just be in
yeah.
Chicago. I'm gonna just be the only person from
I mean,
Chicago literally
I mean,
that
just
could.
just on this call right now, we have close to 100 neos, if
Yeah.
not
Just
over.
this year, right?
Yeah.
For this year.
Yeah. Bill's hatched out 6 clutches this year, right? And
He's on a roll.
And if you count
Yep.
last year, what
And
we looking at? What, like 300 some
I
neos,
have
400 some neos between
I've
all
hatched
that.
out 4 clutches this year, and barring disasters, I'm not done yet. And yeah, so it's crazy what's going on in Texas right now.
Mark,
And
how many babies are you sitting on right now?
28.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
yeah,
Yeah, it's going to be a big number this year for us.
Yeah.
and a bunch
I'm
of
not
awesome
helping this year.
stuff, man.
I'm not helping at all this year.
And the
I'm not
gap.
either.
It's all right, man.
I'm not doing shit
Julie
this
and
year.
Todd.
Hey,
I'm
Matt,
fucking tired.
that Sorong female that I got from you, I'm gonna pair her up this year. She's doing fucking awesome. You know, she had good weight when I got her from you, but I decided to go ahead and just give her a year off and get her fat, and she looks fucking fantastic. So I can't wait to run her.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know
she's a good looking girl.
Yeah, she's beautiful, and she's got a big old monster head on her, and I love that scar on her face. She's got that scarred up lip. It gives her some character. It's super cool.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do. I've got some cool.
It's the mother of Matt's clutch last year.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, his pure Sauron clutch from and she's
Then I had to freeze.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Why
to.
you had to freeze them, Matt?
They weren't eating for me. I've never had a clutch so bad. I mean, I really have never had it. And you know, I used to pride myself on I could get anything to eat, but I can't say that anymore.
If you don't
No.
play, you will freeze.
Yep.
I had
Man, I was so close to freezing the snake I had, and it just shed out. Now it's going.
I won't throw
it's
him in
a
the
hard thing to
freezer.
do.
I'll let him fucking die. But it's I'm probably jinxing myself by saying this, but I have never lost a healthy baby chondro. Never. I've had some that were weak from the beginning, and I'm sorry, I say that. Except for my first clutch, I fucking learned my lesson with that, and but so we'll fast forward it to after I got out of the joint and was had my head on straight and was actually taking care of my animals. All the babies that I've hatched out that you guys know about, I've never lost one that was healthy. I had a couple weak ones that were like just messed up from the beginning, malformations or whatever. But I think only.
So Pat,
3.
You've never had a prolapse baby that's died?
Nope. I have only ever had. I've had prolapses in 2 clutches, 3 animals each, all in the same week, all when it was super dry outside, all reinserted easily, and no recurrence. That's my total experience with neonate prolapse, and I chalk it up to the humidity was just super low, and my tubs are really, really well ventilated. And I just don't think it's a coincidence that they were all the same clutch, all on the same 2 levels in the rack, and all in the same week. 2 years in a row that happened to me, and it was the first time I'd ever seen a neonate prolapse. Was last year. And yeah, I've never had a bad feeder that died on me. I make them eat. I'm just really adamant about my force feeding regimen. I will
Yep.
say this year
Tell me
was
about
the
it,
first.
because you was damn that threatening me about this motherfucker.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
hey, you
and
got to
look,
do
and
this shit
yeah,
every 3 days, damn it.
yeah, and look what happened. Now you got a feeding baby, right?
Yeah.
And this year I struggled with. I've been struggling with a few Biocs for the first time. I've never had Biocs that were. I've had some that were harder than others to start this year, and I still hold a record with myself that every Bioc I've ever hatched, and I think I've hatched 9 clutches of Biocs or something, like eight clutches, something like that. Um, every one has taken its first meal on its own, but a few of those were heads that I had to like tease really hard with the head. So it's not like I got, it wasn't super legit, but I had 2 of them in my first clutch of Biocs from this year that were just, the heads just aren't enough. And, but this week I threw morning geckos in there with them. I've got a colony of morning geckos. I threw morning geckos and they smashed them during the day immediately. Both of them. I threw geckos in, came back in. They both had them wrapped up. And I got 2 more stubborn out of my second Bioc clutch this year. 4 of them ate. There were 6 in my second clutch. 4 of them ate first try in like 60 seconds, and 2 of them still haven't eaten, and they're getting ready to get geckos too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. But,
Yeah, I had tried everything with those sarongs, and it was not looking good for them. I lost 4 of them, and then I had 4 left, and I said, yeah, they're not made to survive, at least in my house anyway. So
yeah.
I mean, I got 1 sarong since December. It was born in December. It still hasn't eaten on its own yet.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my animals from the Crook King clutch took 7 months to get it to eat on its own, but
we're not
within I don't know 3 or 4 months of starting to eat on its own, it was damn near caught up to its siblings because I just hammered it with food after it started eating, and it wasn't a gradual thing. I force fed it twice a week, starting at like 4 weeks old until it was 7 months old, and one day it just full on switch flipped, full feeding response, smashed a pinky, and every time thereafter. And that animal is with Julie and Todd Gavin now, and it was of course my favorite, probably my favorite neonate from the clutch. It was purple with a pinstripe when it was born. It's fucking crazy, and it's still thriving with them now. So
yeah.
But yeah, so I think you're right. Some of them just aren't meant to go. Some of them are just there's just something wrong with them from the jump.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time I've ever done that. So, but I was at my wit's end. I could not. I mean, they weren't taking geckos. They weren't taking skinks. They weren't taking anything. So usually ground skinks like crack. I mean, they just
that's what they eat in the wild, man.
Yeah. And I couldn't even get them on those. So
that's crazy.
I said, I didn't want to pass on any kind of bad feeding genetics, if there's such a thing, and I kind of think there is.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I do too. Yeah, ground skinks.
I believe in that. I believe in that, Matt, for sure.
Yep.
The ground skinks that we have here in Texas, they're really common species. They're really easy to collect. I ought to breed them because they're real similar to what baby chondros eat in the wild naturally.
Every species I had that eats lizards has taken those.
Yeah. So. I've never had a chondro turn down a morning gecko either, so
may have to start raising those now.
Hey Tam, I remember you was have you tried that with that? I don't have even asked you that. I don't think I asked you on the phone, but have you had a little thing where when you like blending up some geckos?
I was blending up chicks. I made chick puree.
No, I thought you was getting geckos from like Randy's homie, and you was blending them
so
up.
I got geckos from him last time. No, I got a nose from him last time. I caught a couple geckos and tried to give geckos to this damn thing. It still don't want them. It just said how it lives. It is literally is literally the one that you tried to pick at the beginning. Number 16 still hasn't fucking.
Yeah.
This looks good. This still don't want to eat.
So Travis, those last two pictures I sent you were some of the original Lemon Tree line animals, and that's another line that I wish was still around.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I have a lemon tree. I still have that lemon tree male.
Looks like
how much lemon trees
water
in it?
ice.
He's 25%, but he's got the phenotype, man. I think that's a genetic. I think lemon tree is a truly genetically heritable trait.
Yeah, and you got one of the last ones that I know of, so that's awesome.
Yeah, he's lemon tree Biak from the times Kofi Al Biak, and
that was from Forest,
what are you going to put in there?
From Forest. I've got a I've got the female from Drew Russell, high yellow line female. So that clutch will be Lemon Tree Biak times Kofi Al Biak times Blue Line Canariac times High Yellow Line Canariac.
Okay, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, lots of Kofi Al Biak blood in there, and he was a Blaze and she was a Red Neo.
This is Lemon Tree. I don't know right here on the screen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's when Ken was talking about Tim Termezzi stuff back in earlier in the show. That's what he was referring to. That started in what, 97, Matt?
No, I definitely remember the Tim Termezzi stuff.
This is actually these are actually like second generation.
Yeah.
These are from Greg Schroeder.
Okay. These would be the F2s of the part. Okay.
So the first one was a 97 lemon female, and the second one was a 2001 lemon.
Kind of look like White Diamond.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, the only other lemon tree, like high percentage lemon tree that I'm aware of that's still around is with Buddy Buscemi.
Does he still have it? Because I thought he had it. I think it was pure. I
think it was pure 50%, and I know he did get offspring from it.
Did he? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought
he got that on loan, right, from Christian.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it was half, if not pure. I don't remember. That would be awesome if he made some babies from that. That'd be a great.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he did.
Not much of that line left. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I have another couple of girls that I'll pair him with too.
Lemon Tree is the perfect line. That was a perfect example of a line that should have been outcrossed with Wild Blood a little bit more.
Yeah,
maybe just Kino, a couple times.
Yeah, Kino, if you're interested, I did a write up on the history of the first part of the Lemon Tree stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. Please send that to me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's just an awesome bloodline, and it was a shame, like you said, that I don't know why people said that there was problems with the females or something like that, and Matt would know a lot more about that.
Yeah,
I thought it was the males. I thought they said the males were infertile.
No, it was the females we were having hard times with, and I think it was really
females. Okay.
Yeah, it was early in the chondro history of breeding stuff, and I think that we didn't know a lot at that time. I think the females were kept too fat, which I think led to a lot of problems.
I've seen a lot of pictures, a lot of chunky lemon tree girls. That's for sure.
Yeah. And so I think that with that huge female philosophy back then caused some problems that we are more aware of now, I think, than we were then. So that's just my theory.
Yeah, I agree. That
was the race to the 1,000-gram mark.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah. So I got
looking for some more pictures.
You can send as many pictures as you got. I got a question for Bill. Yeah. Bill, people always say that you're on the forefront of the new lines. Can you talk more about some of the stuff that you put out, and the genetics behind them?
Well, I think, obviously the sickness was my hallmark animal. when I produced that animal, probably I guess it's been about 7 years ago now. And luckily, I got a clutch out of him, and already a couple of his male offspring produced this year. So super optimistic to see how they turn out. One of them was the most recent clutch was bred to a red Bushmaster Manicory female. So
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how that clutch comes, because I'm not familiar with a lot of designer animals that have been outcrossed with the Manicory locality type. I can't think of a whole lot. I can't think of any, Patrick and Mark.
Yeah, it's mostly blue line stuff, and which is really what Manicory is going to be really well suited for. My favorite pairing, like my favorite outcross or designer pairing ever, was 05079 times 09001. So that 05079 was Blue Max Jarvis, which was Sorong. So Blue Max times a Sorong PNG outcross. Blue Max was a Walsh blue line animal, and the female 09001 was a Prada Manicory. So Rico did that pairing in 2010, something like that. And yeah, 2010. So that's where Blue Boy came from. So that pairing was only 25% Walsh blue blood and produced every red from that pairing went at least high blue, if not solid blue. So
that's kind of what I'm hoping, because the sickness male offspring that I bred that to is much more blue than melanistic. I mean, it's got some.
Yeah.
I saw him today. He's got some melanism in his dorsal area, but if you look at him, you'd say he's more blue, obviously more blue than black. So
yeah.
I'm really excited about it. What's interesting, the most interesting thing about that clutch is there were 2 yellow babies in it. Which, I would have bet my bottom dollar that the flu was red dominant based on his parents, but obviously he's not. So the yellow babies, 2 yellow babies, they look really good. The red babies look really compared to the freight train babies, they look very generic. They haven't shed yet, but when you look at them, they look pretty generic. So we'll see what happens with that clutch. And then the other one that I was excited about was the very first clutch, which it was a split clutch with Buddy Buscemi, and that was another sickness male offspring called Nasiriyah. And he's very melanistic, and he bred one of Buddy's animals that's blue line and also has some melanism, Dirty Girl 2. So
yeah,
I'm excited about those babies too. So again, a lot of that stuff, if it's not Jaeger based, Jaeger's produced some incredible animals. A lot of my stuff is really new and untested at this point, but I think it has good potential.
Definitely.
How many more generations do you I guess what I'm trying to ask is what more do you need to see from your Cygnus stuff to call that a line instead of because you never say Cygnus line. I know that you always say Cygnus offspring.
Yeah, I
what
wouldn't.
more do you need to see from that?
I don't know if I'd ever be able to consider Cygnus a line, basically because he only produced 1 clutch. And if you really take it back, it's the Von Mieraup line, because he's just, I think, an exaggerated form of that. So I don't think I'll ever call Cygnus a line, just because he didn't have the opportunity to breed with multiple females and be able to pass that melanism along. So I think really the most recent historic line would be Mosaic. To me, Mosaic, Pedro's animal is the classic example of a line like the computer chondro or some of the other stuff where it can breed with multiple females and produce crazy looking shit. That, to me, that's a line.
I agree.
Yeah. It's hard to say this. I'm not saying that there hasn't been another animal that had this genetic capacity, but Mosaic is the most potent individual designer animal ever that we've ever seen the results from.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
you talking about due to the variations he thrown, like the
yes,
animal
because
and
because
then
it didn't matter what you put him to. He put him to the greenest fucking Aru that's ever existed,
Right.
and got insane. A yellow Neo, solid fucking green, plain Jane Aru, not even a pretty wild caught Aru, a solid green pickle of a captive bred Aru.
Yep.
And that was a yellow baby, and he got absolutely insane results from that pairing.
Yeah.
There's never been another chondro that was proven to be as potent as Mosaic was. There are animals that threw equally extreme offspring, but they were bred to extreme females. Mosaic, no matter what he was bred to, extreme females or not, it was just the most consistently ridiculous results ever. And I think his offspring will go on to do that as well.
Hey, Mark, can you talk about your calico projects right now?
And Mark, it's not lost on me that you missed the yellow Neo, but your best production was a black Neo. I'm just saying. You ain't showing no pictures of no outstanding yellow Neos. I'm just saying.
I'll pull some up.
No, you just sent him all black and red Neos. You was like,
well, no, we were talking about
this is the all black one. I'm just saying.
I got
Hey, Mark, why don't you get your pictures?
Red babies today.
What'd you say, Bill?
I said I got one of Mark's red calico babies today. He brought it over.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark,
but Mr. Yellow Neo. You know what I'm saying?
hey, Mark, pull some of your pictures and send them, and we're gonna talk about this crook Biak, this crook and kink pairing, and then we'll get back to you once you send some of those pictures over.
All right.
So that animal right there is
and talk about the crook lineage too.
Well, that's right. Crook was
don't know about that.
Yeah. So Crook was an undocumented animal that I got from somebody in San Antonio who acquired a collection from the girlfriend of somebody who went to jail, and he had like 3 layers of stuck shed on him. I had to soak him for damn near 2 days straight to get all the shed off of him, and he had a stubby tail, and but he was badass, and I paid $350 for him, and I used to think, because he looked a lot like an animal that Anders had named Bane, that was a Ben Evans DOP times Merlot, and they were so ridiculously similar, and I ended up having Bane over here, and they were ridiculously similar snakes. But man, once I bred him and saw these results, I thought, man, this sure looks like calico lineage to me. So still, he's undocumented, and maybe one day I'll actually figure out what he really was. I tend to dig up lineage like that randomly. So, but I did a lot of digging and couldn't find it. But maybe it'll pop up. I just recently done.
It's an amazing clutch.
Yeah. Yep.
It was nice. Very nice.
So, so that one, that's the green female that I just showed y'all a little while ago. The one with the green and the black flecks. That's 2000.
That's pinstripe with these pinstripe babies.
Yeah, that's 2009. So.
And that looked like one of Mark's calico babies.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Mark and I have talked about maybe putting a couple of those together to see if it does the same thing when they breed, or if it was like a temperature anomaly or whatever. We don't know why they get that pinstriping.
This one, and then you got this one.
Yeah. And then that one right there is the high yellow male that I showed you guys, the clutch mate. So that's the one that had the same phenotype as Hellboy.
Okay.
Wow.
Look, I was just about to make a joke about Ken dying and saying that I was going to go downstairs and get my phone charger. But now my earbuds are dying and I can't charge them without they have to be plugged into the little thing that they go into, so I can't listen to them and charge them at the same time. So if my earbuds die,
you just
I
talk to the
will,
phone, Pat.
Go sign language.
I can try that, but won't it have an echo?
Not all the time. Just try
Okay,
it.
I'll try it. If
Go sign
that's if they die. I don't. Oh, there they go.
Everybody pretend like they can't hear Patrick.
No, they say they're still. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear
What?
you.
No,
No,
we don't hear you.
no, talk
Huh?
louder.
They just said they were. Oh, I think only one of them died.
How do you manage that? All right, so
I don't
so we
know.
go.
I charged them up before the show too.
It's fine. I think that my headphones are like 50% right now.
Yeah, as long as you can hear me.
We can hear you. You're
Yeah,
fine.
you good.
Okay.
Hey,
all good.
Yeah, it was just the left one that died. That's fucked up.
hey, mine are on a string, man. So they'll die at the same time. So Mark, man,
Oh,
let's get into it, Mark.
Let's talk yellow neos, man.
Let's
Oh,
talk
there we
yellow
go.
neos.
There we
man.
go. There we
Yeah,
Look
go.
at
there
that.
we go. Finally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so,
Damn.
so that's a snake that I like to poke fun at Pedro with, because it looks a lot like one of his mosaic babies, but mine was a yellow neo. So I like to hold that over Pedro's head a little bit.
yeah.
But yeah, so actually, Matt is Matt is the godfather of yellow neos, in my mind, especially here in Texas, but even nationwide, man. I can't think of another guy who was so dedicated to yellow neo projects other than Matt Morris. Like that's
I
it.
used to be. Yep.
and I would say that, being friends with Matt and just talking through projects and potentials and everything, his passion about yellow neos really rubbed off on me and gave me a lot of the confidence and the inspiration of, man, like I think we can chase this down a little further. So
Well, you're
So
definitely doing what I
Robert-
couldn't do, so that's awesome.
Crazy Man Rob was up there.
yeah, so
Crazy
those-
man Rob.
yeah,
That's my guy. I love you, Rob. If you still watch.
Yeah.
Hey man, shout out to
You know
Rob.
you off your rock. You off your rocker, Rob. Just saying.
We
Yeah.
appreciate Rob though. We appreciate him.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
So those first three pictures, those
Respect.
are all the same snake. So that's yeah. So that's all.
But
him.
then that's all the
That's-
same snake.
Yep, that's Muse, and he is a product of Jack, bred to Fiona, and Jack is a snake that I got from Matt.
Why is everybody getting good shit from Matt?
Because
Because
Matt,
look at you see he look up the computer. He got his pilot headphones on. All that. I know what he's doing, man.
man, in addition to being
He pull up
just
the computer.
a great snake breeder and a longtime guy in the hobby, Matt Morris is also one of the most generous people out there. And
Yes, he is.
Thank you, sir.
And it just
That's
doesn't
right.
it doesn't get he's often to his detriment. He is overly generous. But man, so I got Jack from Matt, and Jack was the father of these babies that you can kind of run through. So this is Muse. He's probably the highlight of that clutch. Definitely, one of the most colorful. He's got high black. He's got good amounts of yellow. He's got some white and even some blue dorsal stuff in there. Muse is easily the best yellow Neo I've ever produced.
And you got to mention that Jack was a Rob Worrell creation. So
right, yeah, he was
the Noah Chloe animal.
Yep, exactly.
That's Black Pearl stuff.
Yeah, and so
yep.
So yeah, I had a female named Fiona, and she was a yellow Neo with a lot of melanism. Trav, I sent you a picture of her. Her and Jack were the last two pictures that I just sent you, actually.
So this one.
Yeah, so that's Fiona, and she was a Maruki Biak.
Hey, we got Maroke Biaks.
Yep, exactly. And so, and chances are they look pretty similar for whatever reason, man.
They do.
The Bushmaster Maruki Biaks, they turn out phenomenal, and they get a lot of black. They have a lot of color on them, and so that's what Fiona was. And then that's Jack. Jack was a really, really cool animal, and I actually ended up just losing him maybe a month ago. He was,
man, I'm sorry.
Dude, he is a freaking legend. He was almost, I think he was 18 years old.
Yeah, he was old.
He was real old, and man, I mean, just absolute stud. There is, of all the things you want in a green tree python, Jack was it. He always ate. He looked phenomenal, and he would breed.
Damn, I know that hurt. Hurt.
Yeah. There's not, we keep a lot of these snakes, and we expect them to die and everything, and you don't have a whole lot of emotional attachment to them. But when Jack died, I was
you keep something for 18 years, that's almost 2 decades. Come on now.
Yeah.
You going to feel something.
Yeah, that was hurt, and
I don't know if I
deep for sure.
I missed a couple of minutes there using the restroom, but I got Jack for Matt back in the day.
Everybody gets anything from Matt.
Oh, you mean
no? Not from Matt. I got Jack for Matt. I found Jack for Matt from I can't remember that guy's name.
Yeah, I have it written down somewhere of who Matt got him from.
I
don't remember.
Yeah, the guy sent me an email with a few animals he was moving, and I saw that lineage, and I was like, "Oh, Matt's gonna want this one."
Yeah,
for sure. That Rob Worrell blood.
Yeah, and the weird thing about Jack was he was really one of the only ones in that clutch of Noah Chloe animals that ended up with melanism. Most of the clutch
high yellow
went high yellow.
Yeah.
And Jack was really the only one that got melanism, and he kept it his whole life.
And his eyes, man.
He had these steel blue eyes, man. He was such a cool snake, and
it wasn't an age thing either. He had those eyes when he was young.
Yeah, he had them his whole life, and he was a sweetheart. Like, man, if people wanted to hold a green tree, I would.
He was
Jack
nice.
out.
Yeah.
So
he was a cool snake.
Yeah, it hurt to lose him, but thankfully I got a clutch from him. I've gotten 3 clutches from him actually, and he's a rock star, man. He's awesome.
Keep that line going, man.
Yeah. So I
got your pick, Bill.
The flu.
Yeah, and Contagion.
I'm sending you Contagion for now.
Yeah, we're gonna keep the Black Pearl stuff going though.
Yeah, Trav, there's one other pick that I sent you, and it's a sibling of Muse, and it's a younger pick of Warpaint, and Warpaint at this point in his life was like he was one of the blacker yellow Neos that had been out there. Unfortunately, he's lost a good amount of the black, but he still has good amounts of it. It's the one right before Fiona. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's such a cool picture. It
Yeah,
was
it is.
that was just at the perfect time in his color change to where he had the highest amount of black. He was just rocking and rolling, and he still has a good amount of black, but it's not like that anymore. So, but yeah, Warpaint's he's still kicking around, and I'll probably give him a chance to breed this next year.
His head, he got the same head structure as Jack.
Yeah, yeah, and one of the things that I noticed with Jack's babies is that they all tend to get black on their head. Like that is something where they keep black scales on their head really, really well.
I love that. Such a
and
cool
it's
trait.
just it is such a cool trait, and it's pretty unique. There's other snakes that have black on their face, but most
05188 line stuff.
Yeah,
Black on
most
face.
like high melanism green trees, their black kind of starts at their neck and goes down, as opposed to having it like really right on their face. And so yeah, it's a really cool trait, and everything that Jack produced has just been awesome. So he's really the founder of a lot of my yellow neo stuff, and I have Matt Morris to thank for that.
My pleasure.
Everybody loves Matt.
Yeah,
Everybody loves.
Glad you're doing something with him. That's awesome.
Yeah, Matt, do
Keep
you
that
still
line
have
going.
the that baby of Jack and Fiona that I sent you?
Yes, I still
How's
do.
it doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Let's see. It is. How old is it now?
Coming up on
3?
3 or 4.
Yeah.
So it was a 2019. So yeah,
Yep.
4.
I've been growing them pretty slow. So
Yeah. Hey, you and me both.
Yep. I think I just moved her or him. I'm not sure what it is yet. I moved it up to a adult cage here just recently. So
Nice.
that'll be putting on a little more weight. I'll figure out what it is, a female or a male, and go from there.
Yeah. Send me some updated pics whenever you get them.
We'll do that. I'm actually probably going to end up, if it's a male, I'll probably end up pairing it with the female from the biscuit pairing that Bill did.
Oh, nice.
That I got from him. I think that'll be a good match.
Absolutely.
Well, I got your picks too.
What's that?
Do what?
I got your picks.
My picks?
Yeah, whenever you want to go over.
Yeah, well, I just sent you a picture of the flu. Yeah. So,
yeah, that's the one you bred to the Maniquari, right?
Yeah, that was bred to the Maniquari. That was the last of my clutch to hatch. They haven't even had their shed yet.
Yeah.
Those are going to be nice.
I think so too.
Yeah, super nice. Yeah.
And then the other one I sent you was its clutch mate in Cajun. So huge variation, right, in those two animals.
You know, Bill, you could get parentage testing on those 2 yellows. They could be Partho.
No, Ben's not doing that shit anymore. It's all.
Ben's not doing sexing. The parentage was always another lab. They send off the parentage, so you could actually get parentage testing on that. But it'd actually be pretty easy if they look like Maniquari babies. It's questionable. If they don't look like Maniquari babies, then he ain't Tom Red.
These don't look like Maniquari babies.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Mark saw them. I think he could.
Yeah.
He could agree. They don't look like Maniquari babies at all.
Yeah.
But it's interesting if you show. So that's contagion during his color change.
Woo. That's nice.
Yeah, that's when I was hopeful that I had maybe another sickness on my hands.
Yeah.
But not.
Damn.
Man, there's so much fire in Texas. It's crazy. It's just. I think it's the heat, man. I think it's the heat.
Is the flu the only one of those offsprings, Bill, that got something from the Cyclops?
I don't even know it was from the Cyclops. I think she produced 2 clutches, and I think her blue was not genetic. I think she just was an awesome blue locality type. So I don't know. I think there's synergy between blue and black pairings.
Yeah.
I think the
True.
blue ended up getting some
That's true.
probably from the sickness.
All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna have to bail. I got an early days tomorrow. I got a 5:30 call.
It's time to
All right,
bail.
good sir. We appreciate you.
Oh man, I appreciate it. It's been fun.
It's been a blast.
Good night, Matt. I want to see those Kofi out, man.
Yep, I'll get some
Me too,
pictures up
Matt.
here.
Please. Please,
I'll
Matt.
share them
Please
with
send
everybody.
on
Yeah,
Facebook.
yeah,
Awesome.
we'll
Yeah,
do,
you
man.
sent the pictures earlier.
Yeah, but I'll get some better pictures. Those are when I first got them, so I'll get some better pictures.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Awesome.
Talk to you
Good
later.
night.
Later, Matt.
Good night, Matt.
Good night.
Appreciate you, Matt.
We'll see y'all later. Appreciate you.
So it's just us four. I mean, if y'all want to call it a night, we can call it. We've been at 3.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
over
I
3
gotta.
hours.
I'm sleeping in the morning, which means that I'm getting up at 6 instead of 5.
All right, well, we're going to call this episode of the Chondro Bar Room. This has been a Texas Legends episode. We
This
might
has
have
been
to
fucking
do it again.
awesome, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We
damn
might
good
have
one,
to do it
absolutely.
man.
again.
There's so
Yeah.
many,
We got to run
so
it
much
back.
history in this show, man.
I like
Thank you guys for
the.
putting it on. This was
Hey,
We
we
got.
love
I think we got exactly what we wanted, was to get the same hangout vibe that we get when we're actually hanging out in person.
Yeah.
Because I love being around these guys, man. It's just always a good time. And it's a blessing to have these guys, some of them like Mark, close enough where we actually get to hang out in person periodically. So
Yeah.
I wish I wasn't so fucking
never as much
busy all
as
the
we wish it
time.
was.
Yeah, man. I wish
to see
we
y'all next month.
Yeah,
Can't
I'm
wait.
excited about that. I was saying Bill having that open invite, I may have to get myself a security T-shirt, a really, really tiny security T-shirt.
Yeah, you can crop top it.
Hey,
Yeah, I need to slap
think
one on Ryan Glenn too.
There you go.
You and Travis should get security shirts, and y'all can be like Robin Big.
Hey, look, yeah.
Hey.
I mean, except I'm not that small, and he ain't that big.
No, he ain't.
I'm only 5'9" on a good day, man. Nah,
We can put Trav on my shoulders.
Yeah. The first time I seen Mark, I was just like, shit, this dude's tall as shit.
I know, Mark's fucking 6'13".
You see Mark walking, he's just like, man.
I always feel fucked up, man. I'm always posting pictures with these guys. Fucking Bill, Mark, David Brahms is tall as fuck. Fucking Ryan Burke's a fucking Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Every time I post pictures of these guys, it makes me look like a fucking midget. I'm fucking 5'10".
Ryan's too fucking tall to be that damn nice too. Just like, yo, can you act like an older on the phone, bro? Can you just be mean one time?
You can't get Ryan to be mean for shit, man.
Yeah, and
I love
look,
Ryan. Ryan did me a solid, man. Ryan hooked me up with a red strong female.
I saw that. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I mentioned Ryan Glenn a minute ago. We're talking about Texas Chondro breeders. Ryan Glenn has had some really good success over the last few years. Y'all talk about, me and my workout stuff or whatever. Ryan Glenn's a fucking monster.
Yeah, that dude's yoked.
Travis, you got to meet him too. He's dude.
I'll hit a Ryan Glenn. I'm gonna hit a Ryan.
Yeah, that's why we need to, like I say, if he's going to be at Bill's party, we need to put him in a security shirt too. There's going to be some drunk motherfuckers acting fools, man. We're going to have to go regulate.
Yeah, that's what the pool's for.
Hey man, you think those electric elephant prods? Just hit them with an elephant baton. Hey man, I gotta talk to you after this. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow, but I was gonna ask you, did you want your things when I come up there?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
this has been the Texas Legends panel. It's gonna be a part two. It might it's gonna happen. We don't know when it's gonna happen, but it's definitely gonna happen.
Thank you to all the Texas legends, man, coming through talking shot with us,
Yeah.
breaking it
Even
down, man. It was nice to learn about the Texas the history from even the early in the game with Hillary Webb, man.
Yeah,
This is
Matt,
one of those episodes.
I may be able to get with Matt and we can actually kind of draw out a little bit of a timeline that we could follow with, to touch on the history stuff again, because we were kind of just loosely throwing things out there. Matt and I may be able to, we have the archives, so maybe able to piece some stuff together and
Yeah.
put together an actual timeline that we can follow.
yeah, and get
Okay.
Ken Dill's lineage charts. When I saw Ken and Matt at the McQueenie show, like
Yeah,
they didn't have any chondros on the table, but Ken had his lineage charts out, and I was just like,
nice.
I was anybody else because there's no chondros here. But
Yeah.
I next time we get more lineage charts and we can go over things more thoroughly. And this has been fun though. It really was like
Yeah,
kicking back and just
absolutely.
talking chondros.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
went back.
Yeah.
great
They
show.
dug deep in the bag on this one, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for
Yeah,
setting it
Yeah.
up.
Hey,
yeah,
we're
for
gonna do
sure.
this again. This is the best. And then Keno's coming in next spring, so I hope you guys get to
Yeah,
meet Keenan
yes.
Eugene Morgan in person.
Hey,
aka
Eugene.
aka Bishop Keenan. But that's been it for tonight. Good night, y'all.
All
Yeah.
right. Please, Chondro Bar Room out, man. Till next week,
See ya.
y'all.